Friends, if you're looking for real old school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember MEAD magazine? Then it went woke? Well, don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today. Everybody, welcome to the program. I am Tom Connors. You are watching Midnight's Edge After Dark. We just getting started, and Script Doctor just scooches in here, and so does Scribe Light. How are you gentlemen doing?
Hello. Look at this panel of dudes.
We got some mentions here, yes.
I feel like we're in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, wouldn't you say?
I don't know whether to fight you or to fuck you, Nick.
Cool mate. Cool mate.
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Thank you. Thanks for observing. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. We already are demonetized, I'm sure.
Yay.
So share out the link. And thank you for all the super chats we did get. Joining us tonight, we have Scribe Light. How you doing, my friend?
Doing all right. Trying to keep cool in the inferno that is summertime. How about you guys?
Same.
Yeah. It's not too bad here for once. It's been pretty hot up until the last few days. It's kind of cooled off. We've had some rain, luckily, but I can't complain.
Yeah, we got a lot of rain so far this week, so that's good.
Yeah. And it seems like you and I have some similar weather patterns sometimes, Script, even though we're like way far apart.
Well, you're a bit further north than I am, or northwest than I am, but we're in the same kind of weather region. Yeah.
I would imagine it's got to be something like that. Yeah, because it seems like we're very similar. But welcome, Script Doctor from the Great White North. He knows the answer. See?
I like turtles.
Yes, we're going to talk some turtles today. We got CC also from the Great White North. Are you with us?
I hope so.
Sounds
surrounded
good so far.
by birch trees and a beautiful lake, and I'm at the edge of internet, so I've done everything I can. I got the antenna on the roof, and I'm plugged in direct, and yeah, hopefully I come through clear.
You're on the edge of internet where like quicksand porn is loaded up and stuff.
What?
Yeah,
It's like the end of the internet.
It's who knows what's out here? Some shady folks, maybe.
Who knows?
It's like you get to that point,
Got a
it's like
gang
you've
of
hit the end of the
motorcycles down
internet,
there.
turn around, and don't look back.
Oh, that's been a while. I'm pretty sure there's a new end now.
Oh, probably something to do with Rachel Ziegler. Yeah. Also joining us, we have Nick Weiser, where we're getting ready tonight. We're going to do some Van Damage on Toxic Tuesday.
Oh, you damn right. Happy to be here. What's up, chat? Hello, panel. Hello to our wrenches. Yeah, obviously tonight it's going to be the Van Damme Nation of Van Damme movies. But until then, we got some topics to talk about, me, including a few spins, I'd like to say. So let's enjoy a huge show.
Yeah, I bet people didn't realize that Van Damme was in the movie Leon.
Leon.
That's what it was called in a couple regions, though. Leon or Leon the Street Fighter. And this was before Leon the Professional came out.
You know,
Hmm.
when I was a teenager, I actually thought he was called Neil until I looked up online and it was Leon because I thought he was saying Neil for some
Yeah.
reason, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we got plenty to talk about tonight on Toxic Tuesday with Nick Weiser, but we also have joining us Clobbering Times.
Hey, buddy. Good to see my friends here on the chat. My friends out there in the chat, my friends on the panel. Let's clobber tonight. Or let's
You
not.
know,
We'll just
we
do whatever.
found out from your lovely friend Raquel and our friend here as well that you had a birthday you didn't tell us about.
Oh,
do you mean?
dude.
That is
remember
not
I
the truth.
That, like, what?
That is not
He
true.
didn't tell us?
And then we found out about
That's
Happy
it.
birthday.
Not true. It was not my birthday when everyone showed up on the show Thursday night and very nicely said, but if I told you my birthday was that day, it would have been a lie. It was the day after, that Friday.
Well,
So what was I supposed to do?
and
Lie about
we
it?
had a birthday stream, and this
was very
individual
nice.
showed up there too. But you know, since it's what I do, hello, kids. This is a very special birthday, I'm told, because I was paid $50 to be here. So I gotta like do an extra dance.
Aw.
Batman, do the Batusi trademark. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I was gonna say insert kid's name, but there's no way this dude's a kid. How old are you, man?
Old enough. We've already established I'm old enough to be your father. So
But my parents are
keep
dead.
happy. But I'm still old enough to be
Why
both of them.
would you say that? Will you be my new dad?
Yes, bad dad. Well, probably.
Yay!
Although
Now
you
I
do
have
wear
no
orange
reason to fight
rocks.
crime anymore.
You could do it with orange rocks.
I have a dad. Can we go play ball, Dad?
Yes.
All
Bat
right.
ball.
Not now, Joker. I'm busy with my dad.
Nicely done, sir.
Oh.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Clobby, from all of
Thank
us
you,
here.
buddy.
We love you, and hopefully
you, man.
many, 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 many more.
It
Not
was
to
a pretty
make
good
fun of
one.
Your age, but yeah.
Dude,
was a pretty good one,
I got pretty drunk for your stream. That was the drunkest
Yeah,
I've
you
Nick
been
was
did.
in a
pretty
long
drunk.
time.
Not that he needed a reason, but he used it as
Yeah.
a reason.
And by the way, thank you everyone who turned out for it. It was amazing. It was the clubhouse.
So much
But
fun.
since I wasn't streaming on my actual birthday, they decided to throw that on me, and I don't have the words. It was too kind of you all. Touched my heart, and I thank you so much. Because when you have as many birthdays as I do, you kind of like, do I need any more? But it doesn't matter whether you like your birthday or not. You love that when your friends and your family acknowledge it because it means somebody cares, and at least somebody cares about me. Probably only Nick. I think Nick's the only one that really
No,
cares.
we all care about you.
and Tom. And Tom.
We don't
Okay,
talk
you guys.
that bad about you in the DMs.
Well, I hope you do.
Just a little bit.
Damn, man, now you really ruined the birthday. But that's
You don't really say enough for us to get pissy about. Like,
well, like, not here, but boy, you should
Yeah.
the Snyder bots sure hate me.
well, yeah, that's the thing is you say the right stuff around here. So like, but I mean, if your Twitter is anything like mine, I can only imagine. Yeah, like
Yes, I pissed off a few.
I always creating friends on Twitter
Yes,
or
sir.
X. I'm sorry, X, Mr. Musk. I'm sorry,
Yes.
TM. Why didn't he call it something cool? Like, okay, how about this? And this is why I got paid the big
Uh-oh.
bucks back in the day.
Hmm.
Not really. He wants it to be an all-in-one encompassing app, right? That's why he calls it X. Why not
Yeah.
call it XTRA? Extra.
Extra.
Oh, thank you, Davina, and thank you all for those nice
Because you know
things
what?
you're saying.
X
Thank
is-
you.
Yes, and thank you for everybody who's sending birthday wishes to.
It was Friday the 11th, but hey, you guys
We're
made
not
it last
counting.
forever. Yeah,
We do.
thank you.
Well, I kind of wish you'd named it X as in EX. Then all of the OnlyFans bots would be my ex-girlfriend.
Like, don't worry, honey. I'm just talking to my ex.
And or if you really wanted a recognizable all-in-one product, he could have just bought the brand name Acme.
Yep.
That would have
brilliant.
been like a major troll move. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow,
I don't know. Do me a favor, Elon, and buy me the Ninja Turtles. We're going to talk about them in a few minutes. We got a couple super chats though.
You should be you, sir, Tom, should be in charge of anything that ever happens to the Ninja Turtles. Just as I should be in charge of everything that happens to the Fantastic Four ever, and no one else in the universe. You should own the Ninja Turtles.
If I had the money, sir, I would.
I'll take Spider-Man, and I'll also
You
just for you, Clubby, I'll take the Condor as well. And Fancy Dan.
You can't take a Nova villain as the Spider-Man villains. I'm sorry. We can't allow you to take a villain from another man's rogues gallery, especially of the level of Condor. Condor stays with Richard Rider, sir.
Oh, fine. Well, I want to borrow him.
It was like, what the hell is Condor? What are you guys talking about?
This is inside baseball for the comic shop talk because I have my obsession with Z-list villains.
STR Red Wolf sends in 5. Thank you so much. Says, what's this? Midnight Sun After Dark? I shall not stand for this. Where's the couch? I got to sit down. Yes, that's right. Have a seat. We'll be on for a little bit. We got Truth, Hope, Love here who says, what would you rather watch 3 times a week? Passion of the Christ or Andrew Dominic's Blonde? I've never even heard of Andrew Dominic's Blonde.
That's the movie about Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, Blonde. Yeah, Blonde. Yeah. It's called Blonde.
I haven't seen it. But I enjoyed Passion of the Christ. Not like enjoyed it, but like I think it's a good film.
Yeah.
Watching Jesus get beat down was awesome.
Good movie.
It was a feel-good movie. Great ending.
Good movie. You were cheering the whole time.
Cheering the whole time. Yes. Beat the hell out of no. I mean, it's a very well done film, I should say.
Yes.
But I would probably rather watch that a million times over, considering what I've heard about Blonde. But I'd have to actually watch Blonde because sometimes I can like things inadvertently, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like I like bad things, cheesy bad things. Like I know they're bad, but like Morbius.
You like them ironically.
Ironically, thank you. That's what I was trying to think of.
Morbius.
Yes. I have a morbid obsession with weird shit like that. Yeah,
it's Morbid time officially,
but not like Sharktopus or Sharknado or nothing like that. Like those are like you're trying to do that. It's like no. That's too easy.
It has, try to make a movie bad. No.
Yeah, it has to be a sincere effort that ends up failing.
Yes,
exactamundo. Now, if that's what Blonde is like, then you never know. I might watch it a million times. Like The Room or whatever, which is the usual go-to when people talk about those kind of movies. But no, Passion of the Christ, as far as a film, I don't find it torture to watch, I guess.
So was Blonde that tough to watch, or just
that's what I'm trying to figure out? Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to figure out too, because I didn't even know that movie existed. But like you said, Tom, just to echo your statement,
I vaguely remember it.
Passion of the Christ is a well-made film. Like,
what was the whole
the emotion of that movie?
There was some controversy attached to it. First of all, I know Blonde wasn't that the one that remind me from wrong script. It's based on a story that is loosely based on Marilyn Monroe, correct? So it's
that's the most charitable way to describe it.
Yeah, it's like very, 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 very fictitious kind of telling of her life or something like that. Yeah.
No, it's a series of events, I believe, around her life, and they're all relatively
something to that effect. Yeah. I know there was some controversy surrounding it when initially it come out, and it's like based on a TV movie or some shit like that initially or something, or a book that was made into a TV movie, or I don't remember. All I remember is hearing about it, and I didn't remember it until now that you said it.
Like I've got the whole Clockwork Orange thing going on with my eyes taped open, or can I just kind of like halfway tune the movie out?
I mean, I don't know. I think here's my thing is like even non-Christians I think can watch The Passion of the Christ and go, yeah, that was a very well made film.
I did. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you're preaching to the choir here. Yeah. Once again, I don't
pun intended.
No, but it's just like you take these scenes that once again they're supposed to make you feel like how torturous this was. It really makes you like, oh damn, this is a really brutal movie. And Gibson's a great director, which I don't feel like he gets enough credit for, regardless of how you feel about his leanings. He's fantastic at his craft both ways too. So respect Mel.
Oh yeah, no, Mel learned from one of the best directors in the industry. That's why he's so good.
Straight up.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going here. We've got Mr. Tickle, or did everybody answer it? Because nobody else has seen Blonde. So I think by default, Mr. Tickle Trunk says never rub another man's rogue gallery. Yeah. Truth Hope Loves says, so what are your opinions of Gargoyles 90s Disney? It was a little after my time. I vaguely remember. I remember it being decent. I remember a lot of people who liked it. Yeah.
It's not really after your time. It's actually very deep storytelling.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Well, it was when I was, okay, let me put it to you this way. It was at a time when I was not watching television. I was cruising for chicks. I did not give a fuck what was going on television. Let's put it that way.
Gargoyles was mid-90s Disney zenith. Like they were hitting that next level before they stepped back.
I just remember people comparing it to Batman the Animated Series
because it didn't treat the audience like children, even though it was children's fare. The storytelling was very layered. The characters were complex and had arcs, and they had a contiguous plot line with in a lot of instances where they had callbacks to other characters and events and things, and it was really an epic story over time. The quality, especially in animation, kind of faded as things went on, but those first couple of seasons were really good.
Well,
it was a product
the final
of its time
season
as far as the animation. As far as the animation goes,
I mean, Disney was cheaping out on it deliberately.
Yes,
but the other part too is that it also cleverly used characters from various other public domain IPs in the historical context in a fun and unique way.
Yeah. Created a whole mythology that was just of its own, in its own little universe from different folklore and things. And there was even indications of like attempting to make spin-offs with different. I remember one time they were traveling through Avalon or something, and they kept encountering these different characters and things. And there was some idea of like, are they going to get their own series now or something? But yeah, and Keith David. Man, you can't beat Keith David, and half the cast of.
I know the voice of the killer.
Yeah.
And then Ed Asner also.
Keith David, Ed Asner was in there.
Great guys in there. Yeah.
The only reason I say it is because it's nothing against Gargoyles, Power Rangers, any of that shit that came in the 90s. Like when I say Ninja Turtles was my last thing, like I'm not kidding. Like I literally went from I'm no longer into like this new stuff. Like I just didn't get into any of the Power Rangers. I didn't get into Gargoyles. I didn't get into Pokemon or any of that stuff that came in that era afterwards. I don't know why. I just never took to it. And like my brother was into Power Rangers, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. Kind of like,
dude, you missed the Street Sharks, man.
Oh no, I got through plenty of that crap.
How about Biker Mice from Mars?
To me, that was just rip-offs of TMNT. The best of the bunch was probably Street Sharks, actually. But yeah,
dude, it was. They were all rip-offs. Biker Mice from Mars, SWAT Cats, all of them were. But I enjoyed them all for what they were.
Samurai Pizza Cats. You ever see that?
Oh, dude,
I remember
it. Totally not.
That was something I watched ironically because I already had a girlfriend at that point. We sat down and watched it because it was hysterical and stupid.
The only cartoons I watched for a while was basically like Simpsons or South Park, Beavis and Butthead adult cartoons. Like I just graduated. I'm not trying to like put anybody down who did stick into some of those things. I was already 13, 14. Like you got to remember, I'm sitting here going to see TMNT 3 in the theaters, and I'm 13 years old, and I walk out going, yeah. That's the end of an era. Like literally, like, I mean, to me, that was like, okay, that's my last kind of vestige of childhood kind of thing. Like it just put it in my past.
2006 was that for me. The end of Enterprise. It's the last time I watched cable television. I kept watching stuff after that, but that was when I stopped turning on the TV.
Yeah. And I already had a job and shit, and I was DJing and shit by the time I was 14, 15 years old. So it's not like I was Tomcat.
Oh, thanks for that.
Yeah. I used to run by that name quite a bit until I realized there's a gay porn star with the same exact name.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then when Mikey's like, what are you going to call your LLC? You want to call it Tomcat Productions? I'm like, no.
No.
He's like, why not? He's like, Cat Productions, that's a cool name. I'm like, well, here's the story. He's like, yeah, no, we're not calling it that. Why are you crying, Samurai Vader? Hopefully from laughing. Because if the show is that bad, I apologize. Let's see here. We had like one or two more super chats to get through, and then we're going to get to the stories. Truth, Hope, Love says, well, there's a scene involving JFK taking advantage of Marilyn. Many men do it in it. Also, she has a conversation with her unborn child. Lovely.
Did Cronenberg direct this thing? What?
Yeah, did Cronenberg make this? Cronenberg's Marilyn Monroe.
I mean,
Wow.
if he actually had someone, make up the fetus there, and it was like, say, a 6 foot tall one, I would totally buy into that being a Cronenberg thing.
And it would keep saying, "You're gonna be." Oh wait, I got a voice.
Or David Lynch's
You're gonna
Marilyn.
be a star, mommy. I can't wait to see you in heaven, mommy.
That's what you keep hearing throughout the whole movie. It's just like,
Did they do a Monty
creepy-ass
Python
shit.
thing with it?
Oh no,
Animated fetus.
I want to
Listen,
see Cronenberg do some shit like that, though. Go ahead. Sorry, script.
If you want to see a fairly fun and empathetic take on Marilyn Monroe, there's a Quantum Leap episode of it with.
Oh, that's right.
Bakula.
Yeah,
I vaguely remember that one.
I remember that.
Do I think Marilyn was taken advantage of? Oh, hell yes. Do I think
Sure.
she also took advantage of what her guiles would get her? Oh, fuck yes.
Oh, dude, of course.
She was fucking 2 Kennedys. I mean, come on.
That we know of.
That we know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That we
Exactly,
know.
script. Like, come on. Yes.
She also has one of the
Oh,
most worst influential quotes about women, which is like, if you can't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at your best. And I'm like, if you never show us your best, you're not worth your tolerating your worst. And that's the thing. And that's a lot of things that I met a lot of women that live by that quote that never show their best. It's like, you're not worth it then.
I mean, I just kind of compare her to like, she has like that James Dean quality about her. It's like, would she still be that famous as she had lived? Like same thing with James Dean. Had he had really been like the next Marlon Brando or something like that, like
Probably
really?
not.
That's my point.
I think he would have been more like Mickey Rooney.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but
damn.
No, like hot
I was
for
gonna
a
say he'd
short
be like
minute
the
and then
James
just
Franco
around.
back then is what I was gonna say. Like it was now, like years ago when he was the hot thing, and then he just kind of like I thought.
James
that-
Franco was a blip for a very short time compared to Dean.
Is there a
Well,
modern
James Dean
analog?
only had like 3 movies too, though.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he did, but like he was still well revered over that period of the 3 movies. Franco had like 1.
Well, no, I mean he had his period there where, I mean, with the one where he did. Speaking of The Room, the Disaster Artist, and he had a couple
I'm
of.
talking like he was a hot number for a minute before that. The Disaster
No,
Artist
that's
was his
true.
last attempt to try and
Yeah, he's a bad
didn't work at all.
example. He's a bad example.
Yeah.
I'll think of somebody better, but no.
Dean wouldn't have been a big thing for long. Though.
I don't know. Yeah, and Marilyn, I think she would have kind of just gone out like a Betty Page type or something eventually.
She's a little bit too famous for that, but
Maybe
she'd have
you're
gone
right.
out like some of the. I don't know, but she would probably made a few more movies.
I mean,
Maybe
she
like
could
an Audrey
still
Hepburn type of thing.
maybe.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
something
she
along
might have
those
went on to eventually play like the grandma and the mom and shit. And
Play
stuff.
Sean
older
Young.
roles.
Sean
She's
Young.
She was smart enough and talented enough to probably play older characters when she got older.
Yeah, like if you would have put
Probably.
her in like Anne Bancroft type roles when she was older,
Yeah.
if she was still good looking or something
She
like
was pretty
that.
smart too. So
Like she could have done something like that. I could see. Maybe you're right. I mean, Marilyn. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Tickle Trunk says we skipped a super chat. No, we didn't.
No.
Why we do
Rubbing-
this? No, I
rubbing
even
up
said
man's rogue
never
gallery.
rubbing another man's rogues gallery. Yeah, I said
Yes.
it. I even said it in a
That's
voice. Unless you had
Yeah.
another one that we missed, let me know for sure that we didn't miss nothing.
and it's a true statement too. Don't do that.
It is never rub another man's rogues gallery. That's very true. Why was Franco canceled? Well, he likes the ladies of the young persuasion.
Yeah.
That
From
gets
what
you
I heard.
canceled in Hollywood.
I guess so.
Yeah.
If you
Unless
get
you have
caught.
really high friends in high places, yeah, you
No,
like again.
If they're
when it
not
comes to
trans, yes.
when it comes to Hollywood, there's only just like with any other industry, there's only a select few that actually can get it to the big top to actually have power that abuses things.
Right.
A lot of everyone else, they may toe the company line, but they're more in line with other people in the country, because most of them are transplants, so that they still remember what it's like. But again, you don't get to speak your own thought when you're actually neck deep in the system.
To be fair, we're not talking like young. We're talking like 17, 18, 19 age, probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
He likes them on the young side, like the Leo side of
Okay.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio's cutoff is 24, and if you get older than that, he trades up.
It's true. He's not full of shit.
Roger. Gotcha.
We got 500 people watching, and Darius Munchausen has brought some popcorn, and he brought it to the right place. So I'm about to go off. Oh, Rick Johnson says he sent me the Star Wars UH days I gave Flash. That's awesome. You know, I'd really like to know your sources on those. That'd be awesome too if you could send me that info so I can, if I ever talk about them and people ask questions.
The ultra high def?
I guess so. He made some UHDs. Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't even know you could burn UHDs at home. This is news to me.
Well, we're still waiting for, what is it, Empire?
That's what I thought.
4K?
That's what I was curious where he got the sources from, because I know 4K 77 and 83 were done, but 4K 80 wasn't done yet from what I knew, but I know they were working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Theatricals or special editions?
They're the theatrical edition. What these are, I don't know which source he used, but there are sources out there now where people had taken various 35 millimeter prints they had and used the best sources, scanned them in 4K, and cleaned them up a little bit. And watching them, it's like a world of difference compared to what George has done with them. And I mean, it's just, they're amazing.
Good to know. I hate the special edition.
You would almost probably cry
when the fans.
You remember seeing these movies look like this, and they don't look like that no more. Go ahead, CC.
Yeah.
No, I was just say when the fans put forth a better product than the professionals do, like you have a movie, it's the same movie, and the fans put forth a better version of the movie than the professionals do. Am I supposed to buy the professional version, or am I going to watch the fan version? It's like I'm going to take the best version of the product that's available.
And he sent me an email. Thank you so very much, Rick. That works for me. Thank you.
Is it despecialized version, or is it just a
special version?
Pretty much
despecialized?
Either way, I'm just curious. But there is the despecialized edition, but then there is what I'm talking, and Script and I talking about are, like I said, these were pulled together from various prints, recolor timed and everything like that. And they look like them. And it's not just, I'm not just talking about the special effects here either, Clobby. I'm talking about the movie itself. Because the way that Lucas went back and rescanned these and put them in, because he's messed with them like 2 or 3 times since the special editions. And now the movies look sterile as fuck. Like, he changed the color timing on them and everything. They just look
Hoth is blue.
Yeah, everything is off on them. And I popped back and forth between, like, Jedi and the 4K 83. It's like a world of fucking difference. And same thing with 4K 7. Like, I almost cried when I watched 4K 77 because I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen this movie look like this since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, just that.
I see that.
Impression was like crazy. But we got some more super chats here in the meantime. Thank you again, though, Rick. I appreciate that a lot. Waltman4 says, so other than Tom, who knew the Scooby-Doo time X, whatever they call it, Five Nights at Freddy voiceover AI debacle? Have you guys heard about this yet?
Did not know.
No.
Okay. Now, what happened was somebody went and used AI. I don't know if they did it for the animation too, or just for the voice acting part.
Let's focus on the voice, since that's
that's what I was going to say. So, but basically they used AI to do the voiceovers for this Five Nights at Freddy's crossover thing with Scooby-Doo, and they sound good. Like, it's Frank Welker. I think they went with the Matthew Lillard Shaggy, but like Velma and all them sound like they did back in the old cartoon. It's kind of freaky. It's like, wow. So yeah, this is something I can see being a problem. And I could see why, because like I guess the Velma actor freaked out about it. Like, look, I get the people that made it aren't making any money off it necessarily, but it does raise the issue at hand that actors are having right now, voice and or face otherwise, with this whole AI business. And this is something we talked about on this very channel. Yeah, when they were talking about how now in foreign movies they can actually have Jack Nicholson's voice in Spanish, Italian, French, whatever it is they're doing. And it's Jack's voice. It's not some voiceover, and it's all because of AI. But you're about to say, CC, because you work with AI a lot too. Yeah.
I do, but I'm to be on the super chat. Like with animation, your brain does not have to process the live actor on the screen. It's animation, so all you have to process is the audio. I think it'd be a lot easier to cross that divide with an AI voice in an animation. Like it's that, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, the other part too, the advantage with regards to what Tom was saying of the Spanish is that there's two aspects they do it. One, they get a Spanish-speaking actor who does the voice, and then the AI just masks Jack Nicholson's voice over top of that, so all the inflections are properly and grammatically correct to the performance. But the actor is actually signing a contract knowing that that's going to be done. The issue at hand here, according to the super chat and what Tom just said, is that no permissions were asked of the original voice cast for them to do this, and that's where there's the controversy. And that's the other part too. A lot of the struck companies right now are trying to add into basic contracts that you as an actor, whether you're a background actor, day player, or a big star, could potentially lose the rights to your own voice for pennies, as opposed to like what the actors on The Simpsons did, which is when the show took off, they renegotiated. They said, we are selling the voices that you put on for these characters, so that Fox Studios or Fox Animation, now under Disney, I guess, owns them, and the actors themselves no longer do. Like they can perform the voice, they just can't make any money off of it unless it's through the company that owns the voice.
So what happens with somebody who's a very good impressionist then? Do you then like violate some kind of licensing if someone's licensed their voice and likeness and everything after this epoch?
Well, see, that's the thing where it hasn't actually been properly addressed in law yet. Okay. Because again, if you have another performer that says, so let's say you have a man who can do Bart Simpson's voice instead of the woman that's normally doing it.
Nancy Cartwright, yeah.
Then you have a whole bunch of other issues where it's like, well, okay, it's number one, it's coming from a completely different source, but it sounds identical. However, because the source is not the source is doesn't have a contract with regards to that voice, maybe there's some wiggle room so that if, say, Disney now that produces Simpsons wanted to replace Nancy Cartwright with this other male actor who might be younger and be able to do it for another 10, 15 years, they would have to negotiate with them, and he could choose to retain his interpretation of the Bart Simpson voice or impression of the Bart Simpson voice and not sell it out, or they could just go to AI. But regardless, it's a really weird area because I think Fox was kind of like the first ones to actually purchase those types of voices with that specific detail. Because I can't think of any other time. I think Frank Welker doesn't sell his voices out. I think.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like maybe a YouTube analog in the sense of like if I do a cover song on YouTube, I could still be struck, or I have somebody come after me for licensing issues or something else conceivably. If I'm doing a parody where I do an exact independent, not AI, independent imitation of somebody else's voice, does that fall under fair use still, or have I violated somebody's licensing because of that element?
If it's parody, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're parody, you're good. But the AI factor is like, are you trying to sell it as the original person doing it, or is it a?
Well, that's the thing. That's my question for this thing with the AI. If it's obviously a parody product, does it matter that the voice is an exact match?
Well, here's where the line is blurred. I think is really kind of where we're at, because this is a fan-made thing, and again, the animation is amazing. It looks like the old Rankin and Bass animation, which is crazy. Yeah. So I'll show a quick clip of it here, but as you'll hear, of course, more importantly, listen to the voices, because again, I don't know if the animation was done AI either. Somebody in the chat knows, let us know. But yeah.
All right, gang, let's unload.
Yeah, it sounds just like Frank Welker.
It does.
Yeah. Actually, it sounds more like Frank Welker than Fred.
Yeah.
Jenkins, they're closed.
But it was just open when we pulled up.
Well, Scoop, I think we're gonna have to party another day.
Okay.
Hey, what's that?
It's Fred Astaire.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I was about to say, Fred Astaire's here.
A security guard.
What are you guys doing standing around out here?
Well, we came for a birthday party, but the place is closed.
That's strange. I'm not supposed to lock up for another hour.
Someone.
Yeah, see, it does. There's still a little off, but it's there.
With regards to AI and sound, one thing I will say that's been a challenge thus far is if you train an AI model you can train it to be strong in one area, but by training it to be strong at one, say, type of vocal inflection, it trades off strength in other areas. So you can't really train an AI yet to be strong in everything. But what they're trying to do is if you train an AI that's strong in one area and an AI that's strong in another area, you can link them. That's what they're trying to do, right? So that you can link multiple AIs together to create a super AI effectively that's strong in all areas. And it's not strictly like one AI, but I mean in terms of audio, like with the animation audio, what it will do is it'll take like a single thousandth of a second of audio from one AI that it determines is better at that particular thing, and then it'll take another sample 1,000th of a second from a different model, and it'll start chaining them together to create something that it perceives to be the most complete product. And whether or not we hear it that way is the next change, but that's kind of what we're working on right now.
Sounds like it'd just be easier to hire actors.
If that feels like AI is going after you, but no, Script's right.
It would be.
And like in the past, that's what you would do. And like, you know, Winnie the Pooh, like the actor that did that, and Tigger and so on, they passed that on to Jim Cummings, who now has done it for the better part of actually longer than the original voice actor did of those characters. And
great.
what he's doing though is his interpretation of the original voice actor that slips my mind at this moment in time. But, you know, he just comes in and does the whole, oh, bother, you know, thing with that. And then Terry does up here, you know, he just does the voices, right? Like, but he's emulating what they were before, right? And it's kind of like with Matthew Lillard doing Shaggy kind of thing. He's kind of emulating what Casey Kasem was doing. Sorry, CC, you were about to say.
No, and then we could debate who our favorites. I mean, I know Doctor Who's not in a good place right now, but we have had a lot of fun debating who our favorite Doctor is. Doesn't matter that it's not the same person for all of eternity. We don't have to AI the original Doctor for 1,000 years. We just recast him and talk about who our favorite.
They did the same thing with Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble because, you know, of course, Mel Blanc died back in 88 or 89 or whatever it was. So somebody else has been doing Barney since then. But the original guy who did Fred, I think he passed away couple of years after that, but somebody else took over, and you can't even tell the guy who does it he sounds just like the original. You know, they just find somebody who does a good job. It's like not even that, but most people didn't realize that Mel Blanc had stopped doing Yosemite Sam years ago before because he couldn't do it anymore because he couldn't do the all that kind of stuff. So they had a guy come in who sounded just like him, even though Mel still got the credit for it. This other guy got paid. This guy did not get credit until Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but he had actually been doing the voice for like the last 20 years, and people didn't realize it.
Wait, wasn't he just doing the voices with Mel Blanc doing the other voices too, though?
Yes, yeah. It was just Mel couldn't do certain voices anymore.
Yeah, so he would still do the voices he could, and if he was, say, doing Bugs Bunny versus Yosemite, he'd be doing just Bugs, and then the other guy would do Yosemite, yeah.
But it was under the understanding that even though this guy got paid probably pretty well, that he was never going to get credit for it. And he didn't get actual on-screen credit until Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And at that point, that's when everybody who did do the other voices besides Mel did get their actual screen credit. Because I'm not sure if he did Porky anymore at that point either. He may have, but I can't remember. There was
actually, he probably was, because I think there's a Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
He might have been
where he was still doing.
There's like two of them he wasn't doing. It was at least Yosemite Sam. I mean, he took over Elmer Fudd after the original act. See, that was another one that people didn't realize is Elmer Fudd was originally voiced by a completely different actor. That was his real voice. The whole, you know, hello, that whole thing. And then after he quit doing that voice, they just had Mel do his voice. And so at a point it shifts and you can tell. And I'm trying to remember the other ones. There's the higher ones or the more ones he couldn't do when he was older because he had emphysema real bad later on in life. So like, God, I'm trying to remember the other ones. And I know it was Yosemite Leghorn? Sam. Maybe Foghorn Leghorn was another one. I think maybe.
I think so.
I think that's another
there's
one.
There's not many that are actually big, boisterous.
No,
like
you're
that.
right. And Daffy was one that somebody else did take over eventually. It might have been before he died too, but I'm not 100%.
His son Noel did some voices too.
Yes, Noel did a few of them too. Yeah,
Big Buds sometimes.
I was away for a second. Maybe I missed it. Did you guys bring up the lawsuit from Mel Blanc's family over
No.
Dino's voice from the Flintstones movie? Yeah, they on the credits for the Flintstones movie, the live action one, they credited Dino's voice as himself.
But because he used Mel Blanc's.
Yeah, and the family got upset over that. And I think there might have been a rights issue or some kind of some kind of licensing issue as well that they didn't.
Yeah, and who was the
credit
producer
him.
of the live action Flintstones film?
Spielberg.
Kathleen Kennedy.
And Kennedy.
Oh, that's right.
Well, that's a famous story though about how John Goodman got that role. You guys know that story?
Well, the only story I know is that he physically looked closest to Fred Flintstone, so that's why they wanted him.
I don't remember what party they were at or premiere or something or other. And maybe it was King Ralph or something like that at that time period it would have been. And Spielberg just literally walked up to him and goes, "Hey gang, this is my new Fred Flintstone right here." And there's a bunch of press right there. And he turned around and there's he's like, I never had a meeting with anybody or anything like that. Next thing you know, I think he said that it was a greatest moment for my agents or whatever, because we could make a sweetheart deal because he had already kind of put it in the press before he had a chance to negotiate it. But like, yeah, that was like Spielberg's first and only choice was John Goodman. And he told him at some party or premiere or something like that. And it was right in front of the press. And that was the first time he heard it. Yeah, there's a Goodman interview out there somewhere where he talks about it. Yeah. He's like, he was happy to do it, but it just took him by surprise. It was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm Fred Flintstone.
It's a great casting.
Well, and they knew each other because they had worked on, what was it, Always together or whatever?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Always.
Yeah. So it wasn't like they totally didn't know each other, but he said it took him completely off guard because like he had never had any conversations with anybody about it at all. So it was like just boom. We also have, speaking of boom, Brian Boom showing up.
Good evening, everybody. How are you all?
What's up, bud?
Wow.
We still haven't even got to our topics yet, so let's do this here. I know we've got. Well, you guys have been very generous with the super chats, and I shared the wrong screen here. I shared the screen.
Share the nudes. Never share the nudes, Tom.
Oh, I try.
Ooh.
Where are we at?
Here we go.
Okay, well, let's grab the rest of this super checks. I think there's only like one more after that. Do we get this one or do we read it? Okay, this one's one we didn't get. Have you guys heard that the recent news on the Scooby-Doo voice artist threatening an indie animator for using an AI voice of hers for animation? Yeah, that went off the Waltman one. And yeah, that's the original voice of Velma or whatever had said something about it. And that's where this controversy had stirred up. Honestly, I think if she had never said anything about it, we wouldn't even know about this thing.
It's the Streisand effect.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. That's what I think happened here, to be honest. But yeah, this is the latest talk on the X's. Is that what we call it now? The Twitters or the X's?
It'll never be
X's
on the X social media platform.
The X social media platform.
The X Orcist.
Yes, this headline's going all over the place. Cowabunga! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise reignited. Sorry, not reined in. With 1 billion plus global retail sales for 2023. Now, the reason they say reignite is because it took them 8 years to make $1 billion before this.
Well, this is toy sales stuff, so
wow. Yes. So let's be clear right off the bat. Even though a lot of these stories are trying to attach this in some way to Mutant Mayhem, I'm going to give you all a big, huge fucking caveat with this. None of these sales contain anything that has anything to do with Mutant Mayhem, because Mutant Mayhem just came out. The toys just came out. None of that is going to be reflective until Q3. Has Ninja Turtles had a good year so far? Absolutely, it has. Do you know why it's had a good year so far?
The new Playmates contract?
That's a big part of it. I was
Last
just going to say, because they've been releasing shit like this.
Classics.
Oh, yeah, they re-released the classic TMNT stuff.
Oh, yeah, they've been doing a lot of the re-releases. A lot of the re-releases.
Tons and tons.
Yeah. They got now that game that they announced recently, too.
Most of the sales are classic.
Yep.
Also,
this is all classic.
100%
all classic. None of this is going to be new sales, because Rise of TMNT has been dead now for a while, and this is all pre-Mutant Mayhem. That's what I'm saying, CC. So this is all classic TMNT sales. Yeah.
There's a fair amount of hype for the last Ronin video game as well. I don't know how much of the sales have to do with that, but people are excited about it, and it might be really, really good.
Well, people like the story. Also, too, as far as Western comics sell, the hardcover is one of the very, very few Western stories that does well. Other than that, it's all manga and Dogman. The Last Ronin is still selling as a hardcover, outselling anything from the big two as well. So it's practically one of a very few, I mean, single digit few of Western comics that are still selling continuously.
I gotta correct myself.
No, take it away,
they've only made $8 billion since 2009. Okay.
Hold on. Didn't the headline
not much better than what I said?
Does that mean 8 billion in sales or 8 billion in profit?
Altogether up until 2022. And then this last year where I said they had this huge relaunch of TMNT where they've had nothing but, putting stuff out there with like this stuff here, for instance, as well. Like this is all stuff that's been coming out this year. The NECA stuff. That's what this is here. I believe this is a Super 7 here, or whatever.
Don't
all this
forget
classic
a lot of pre-orders are coming up too. There's all the pre-orders that are doing very well. Like there's one that's coming out. I think it's a punk rocker Leonardo. They're still continuing more reissues and they're selling like crazy for the pre-orders. I remember looking at Entertainment Earth, like, oh damn, I missed my shot.
There's a
Go ahead.
I say there's a $500 turtle van. Did you see that shit, Nick?
I saw that, dude. I was just like,
it's like I'm trying to figure out how to justify spending $500 on a fucking turtle van.
Wait, is this like an upgrade?
Do you really have to justify that?
You don't have to
How big is it?
Like 88, because I got the 88 one.
I've got the old one, yes, but this is some new.
Is it like 12 in?
Here,
12, 18 inches? Is it like
it's actually
good full size? Because I would totally do that.
Speaking of Entertainment Earth, they are one of our sponsors here, so I'll even give you guys a link to this for those anybody who actually wants to take the plunge on this.
You got
thing.
the money.
Yeah, I believe this goes with the Ultimate Collection. That's what it's supposed to go with. So it's like going to be decked out to fuck, most likely.
I mean, does it like open up and everything? You can like.
I think so. I'll bring it up here.
$500, it sure as hell better.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, here's the ultimate party van is what it's called. Okay.
It better take real gas for $500.
Yeah, right. Hang on here. I'm gonna get the link for everybody.
Oh, that'll get me half.
Just
a tank
in case. Just in case there's somebody.
They have the turtle blimp coming too.
They might if this sells well. I think it all probably depends on how this sells. Like they have the classic blimp up.
Okay.
That they have, but
I still got my blimp up in the room. It looks great.
I haven't got mine out of the package yet, but
dude, get your blimp out.
Here you go. $474.99 coming January. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Party Wagon. Look at that.
Oh, that looks just like the one I got, but a little bit more.
Looks a little small.
See, and this is why I think it's for the Ultimates, because that's what it looks like they have here, and it's Super 7.
Yeah.
Does it say stinks on the side?
Oh, it's definitely got some extra stuff. There's got the chain winch.
Oh, it's got toilet plunger.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Look at how it comes apart.
Oh wow,
that's pretty neat.
Now I see why, because you gotta build it. Okay,
Tom, you don't even have to think about it. Just do it.
Don't even tempt me.
It looks pretty cool.
I know. I'm like, fuck.
Oh wow, it's 21 inches.
Yeah, it's big. It's supposed to go with the Ultimates.
You were avoid trying to say it's big after he said.
There's the Ultimates right there. Like this line is amazing. They sold out a RAF already.
Good turtles.
They are good. This is the Ultimates line, Super 7. They're fucking amazing.
Wait, so they added more points of articulation on the revamp of the traditional toys?
Yes.
Like?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, they're kind of what Super 7 did is they're a merge between the original toys and the cartoon. So it's like a hybrid. And they have
the shelves still open up and you can put stuff in them back?
No, they have those. They brought those out. Now you can get those, but no, these are like fully articulated. They got a couple of different heads and hands. I think they even have two choices for weapons as well. They have classic ones, which are just orange, and then they have really fancy detailed ones. So like, so they're definitely playing up to like a mix between the show and the original Look at that detail in there.
Duct
Fucking
tape.
duct tape on the seats.
Pretty sure that's
All right,
CC lives in that already, don't you, CC?
I do, but I have duct tape on my seats.
All right,
Oh my
Tom,
God.
I'm gonna pitch in 250. You're gonna do 250. And we'll trade it off. 6
That doesn't
months
work.
on and off.
No,
I tried that when I was a kid. That don't work.
All right,
Didn't
you're
you
gonna
not see
borrow it,
the
and then I'm
Radioactive
gonna
Man
borrow
Simpsons
it
episode?
back.
I was just gonna say, wasn't that an episode of The Simpsons or something like that? Yeah. All right, let's read this story real quick. Since 2012, not including Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles global not including 2023, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle global merchandise sales have amassed $8 billion per industry sources. This was accomplished during Paramount's ownership of the TMNT IP that they acquired in 2009. Paramount transitioned the Turtles business from predominantly collectors to mass retail and Natch. And Natch, I don't know what that means.
Natch is the latest robot reboot that, and naturally, sorry, that's what he's trying to say.
NATCH.
And Natch, the latest. Well, because think about the abbreviation. And Natch, the latest reboot has capitulated demand. For
Okay,
TMNT,
gotcha.
and naturally, I think that's what they're trying to do there.
That's a fucking word, really?
I've never. I think that's more of a verbal act. Verbal
It's an old timey
abbreviation
word. It's something.
Is it really?
It's something that. It's a slang. It's slang that's been used for a long time. It's just not very often.
It does
these
mean
days.
naturally, though.
Since the 70s,
Yes.
60s. Yeah, it does.
Okay, naturally, the latest reboot catapulted demand from TMNT fans and partners alike. No, it didn't. Nobody gave a fuck about that reboot. Anyway, in the US and Canada alone, industry projections think Mutant Mayhem co-production with Nickelodeon and Seth Rogen's point could exceed 110 million. For a franchise that just grossed $1 billion in sales this year, that tells me that Mutant Mayhem is not what the fans want.
Wait, so it's 10% of all the sales?
Exactly. It's done 10% basically. Now, sure, some of these sales are, like I said, there's toys out there now, and I do know some people are like, well, I bought the toys, I didn't like the movie, but the toys are really cool. So I get that. There's going to be some sales, but they don't know what the sales are going to be yet for Mutant Mayhem. Them numbers haven't come in yet. Anyway, Paramount Consumer Products Turtles theatrical programs was its most ambitious yet, counting north of 400 licensees for the film. Told y'all. 1,100 in total for the franchise. That means more was done not for the movie. Wow. And I'm not kidding. I walked through Walmart yesterday. I wish I had my camera on. If you guys would have believed, and I'm sure anybody who's gone to Walmart knows what I'm talking about, they have slapped TMNT Mutant Mayhem on every motherfucking thing they can. They literally have TMNT Mutant Mayhem fucking fishing poles.
Yeah. Saw that today. Yeah.
Remember the fishing episode of TMNT?
Yeah. That's how sad this has gotten. But that, you know what? This actually makes me feel good that only, that's not even a quarter of the shit is Mutant Mayhem. Less than a quarter of it is Mutant Mayhem so far this year. Among those platinum licenses with Turtles merchandise tied to Mutant Mayhem were Playmates, Hasbro, Mattel, Crayola, Funko, Crocs, General Mills, and more. See our video about this on the main channel, by the way. Their products hit global store shelves of Walmart, Target, Amazon, Macy's, Kroger, Kohl's, Primark, Smith's, The Entertainer, Soriana, Big W, Iden, Toys R Us. Oh, God, did you guys see what few places still have a Toys R Us have in their fucking... Oh, my Jesus. Ninja Turtle galore. Like, I actually kind of want to go to one now because they have a bunch of the Super 7 stuff that I haven't got my
You're
hand on
tempting
yet.
me. Don't tempt me like that.
Like,
Now
I
I
don't give a fuck about Mutant Mayhem. I want to get my hands on this other shit, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I've been trying to get my hands on the classic fucking Turtles that are out there right now. The Mirage ones that are out there. They're hard to find from Target.
I got
Maybe
a cool.
you think maybe it's some reverse
I got a
psychology
cool
kind of
Mirage
thing?
one.
No.
Of the Stranger Things package. When they all wore red bandanas, I do got one that came with a hopper. I got one of those ones. The detail on it is actually really killer. I really enjoy it. It's
Well, there's a 4-pack out now. But anyway, you're about to say, Scribe?
I was wondering, do you think maybe it's some kind of like 4D chess reverse psychology thing? They put out a movie that totally dunks on the fans of the originals, and then at the same time they're releasing all this other merchandise that's getting them $1 billion inside of less than a year.
I mean, yes and no. Like, I mean, did Mutant Mayhem dunk on the franchise and the fans as much as, say, like Motu? Maybe not necessarily. Like, the best way I've described Mutant Mayhem, and I don't think anybody will disagree with me who's seen it, for the most part, unless you enjoyed it, and then you might try to weasel your way out of this argument, but I've said it and I'll stick by it. Mutant Mayhem is what parents and adults thought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was when it first came out. It isn't what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was. Like you guys mentioned earlier, Street Sharks, bikers from Mars, and the samurai cats and shit like that. All that came out of the idea of what people thought Ninja Turtles was. But if you actually saw Ninja Turtles and knew what it was, you can see what it was and why that lasted 40 years and the rest of that shit did not. See, this is now a pale comparison to what this has now become the biker mice of Mars of Ninja Turtles, right? That's what this is. This is not Ninja Turtles. This is like somebody took the idea of it and just ran with it, like Seth Rogen, you know, and who had no idea at its heart what it was about. And what it is really about is, you know, family, honor, you know, history, and mixed with this idea of these weird mutant characters that the joke is, of course, they're fast, silent ninjas, but they're turtles. So they might as well be sloths for that matter. You know what I mean? Like, that's the joke, but the concept went way beyond the joke. If you actually,
it's about respect for learning and growth, and you know, the respect for training and listening to your mentors, and there's all sorts of things, good messages tied up in that in Turtles.
Oh, it's great. Well, in that
Respect
first movie,
is the word. Yeah.
That's the problem, is living up to the 1990 film. It's like the Superman problem, right? We're never going to get a movie of Superman that's probably ever going to be as good as the first one. But you can attempt it. You can try to emulate that. You can try to do something in the vein of that. And that's kind of the closest we've gotten has been Ninja Turtles. Really, if you think about it. I mean, most people kind of like, they can't argue with me, but I've said it before. Right next to Superman is TMNT as far as the best comic book adaptations of all time. As far as what actually get.
TMNT is more accurate to the franchise.
You're probably right,
than
Script.
the movie. Superman movie has some liberties, but it's still a great interpretation of the character.
I
TMNT
love that movie.
I mean, TMNT by and large is essentially like, it's Mirage. It's like Mirage brought to life.
Mixed with a little bit of the cartoon.
A little bit with, mixed in with a little bit of the cartoon, but also pretty well consolidated with what the limitations you had as a filmmaker at that time as well. So,
well, and it just so happened to be that those
right,
and that's what I was just gonna say. And it just so happened to be that those first few Mirage comics lent themselves perfectly to what they were trying to do, and that's probably why I wouldn't argue with you, Script. And I mean, I'd probably try to debate that with somebody as far as like, yeah, no, TMNT probably is the most accurate until you get to things like what, Sin City, maybe. Like that are literal like
Sin City is really
300
just shot for shot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, other than some argument like that, I mean, that's really the only, all you can do is do, like you said, frame for frame, shot for shot from the comic, basically.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the best way to go. I mean, a lot of times I would say it's the best way to go if the source material is great.
Well, it depends. I mean, one thing that's kind of interesting with the like TMNT's, the earlier issues of Mirage, is that their comics were really melodramatic and fit perfectly for the medium of cinema. Same thing with Sin City.
Yep.
Superman, like DC Detective Comics and Action Comics back in the day, they were fun, pulpy stories. They weren't really suited for cinema, so you have to take a little bit of liberties to make that work. But
yeah, you had to make Superman really epic to work in that movie. Yeah.
But like that's the thing. Like with Sin City, when you read that, it's like this is Frank Miller doing a mystery tragedy essentially. And then using the black and white palette to try and give it a film noir thing, even though I would argue it's probably not really film noir. And then TMNT is really just a Japanese martial arts film with very dramatic and a little bit satirical play on Daredevil story. It's like everything is really, really serious in those comics. And then when you reconcile that with some of the cartoons, it's like, okay, this is how you kind of balance those scales out. So it's not overtly melodrama. It's like, okay, these are teenagers. Yes, they'll be serious here and there, but they're teenagers. They have to joke and kid around because that's what teenagers do.
I mean, Berserk is a great example of this because the manga is perfection, frame for frame. If you're going to do Berserk, you need to adapt it frame for frame from the source material. You can't cut anything out. You can't deviate. And they have struggled. They've screwed up a lot of attempts at adapting that story. The 90s is the closest they ever got to it, but every other time they try to adapt, it's like, oh well, we'll skip this and we'll skip that. We'll cut this out. We'll cut that out. We'll change it. There's nothing like the times we get really, really lucky and you get somebody who's a genuine fan of the material, who's not bound by finances or public trading. And it's not. I don't trust any company that's publicly traded. I say this because I'm on the Baldur's Gate 3 train right now. It's a company who has loved the source material of Dungeons and Dragons for 20 years and made Dungeons and Dragons games, and they worked their asses off to get the IP, and they did justice to the IP they got. And they're not publicly traded. They're not beholden to anybody but themselves, and they're directed by somebody who is a fan.
Yeah. I mean,
when you
going
get
on
that, sometimes you get something really special.
Going on with this article without reading the whole damn thing, like just perusing it here, like this is starting to feel more and more to me like something to help boost their fucking stock. Like it's more like just advertising all the shit that they've got going on. Like I wish Mikey was here right now because I think he'd know what I'm saying here. Like that's what this feels like to me.
Yeah, this is a placed article for advertising.
It's an advertisement.
It
yeah.
looks like looks like an article. And
Go buy it. Yeah. Because like Script sent me this in the background, and I don't know if this is normal for Canada. This is a Canadian site, basically, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, Toys R Us exists mostly in Canada. It barely exists in the United States.
Yeah, because if it was American prices, this is. I mean, here's the thing. Usually, Toys R Us US, when they were around in the US, like they were always overpriced. But like, okay, they're on sale $13.57. I can go out to Walmart and get these for $9.99. That's why I asked.
Well, I mean, that's the same equivalent in the US dollar. This is a cross promotion sale. Looks like where they're cutting $3 to $5 off the original sticker price as part of the movie's cross promotion, but it's affecting everything that's TMNT, which is kind of interesting. It's like, oh yeah,
that's what I'm asking. Yeah, because I don't know how sales work up there. Like here, we have sales once in a while, but usually it's not till they hit the clearance bin when we know something's in trouble.
No. This is a normal type of percentage for a sale that's of a cross promotion or a popular line. Clearance sales is like 50 to 60%. You know when something's on clearance. Like this one here is more like, hey, our markup is actually this many points, but we can cut back a couple of bucks just because we really want to move this merchandise fast so that we can order more. And that's basically what it's doing here.
I don't know if you looked at this, Nick. Let me see if I can make this bigger because I know I'm on my wide screen here. I apologize.
They're on a massive screen.
I know I have a new widescreen, so I'm still adjusting to this shit. Well, 100% only takes you so big. This is like 150%, and then it does shit like this to you. But like these prices, like on the newer stuff, yeah, these are more in line with what they are here in the US. But like the prices for some of the collectible shit, like these 2 Power Ranger 2-pack, that's a hell of a sale there. Wow.
Yep. It looks like it's a percentage across the board. It looks to be like about 15.
I don't know what the fuck this is. A fuggler? What the fuck is a fuggler?
I don't know.
Is it fugly?
It is very fugly. Now the funny thing is these plushies. This is not Mutant Mayhem. This is classic because you know how because it doesn't have the headband there. Yeah.
This
and clearly them. Go ahead.
This isn't the clearance section though. You're in, is it?
These are good prices though on the Power Rangers though. That's I will say. But yeah,
the clearance section.
What the fuck is this fuggler shit? Oh my god, who wants that nightmare in their fucking kid's bedroom? Holy shit, look at this thing.
Look at the teeth.
It's got human teeth.
Wow.
Wait, the live chat is closed. You can talk to the customer service rep about it.
Oh my god. There you go. Like, why would you sell this to children?
Reminds me of that toy that Ant-Man gave his daughter in that first movie, and she's like, "It's ugly. I love it." Yeah,
I will eat your soul.
That's what I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
what it
Yellow
looks
Flash.
like.
What the fuck is that thing? Do kids buy that crap?
That's a
Sure.
good question.
I just
That is a good question.
Oh my god, it was that kind of reminds me of when, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but like last year or whatever it was, McDonald's did adult kids meals or Happy Meals.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
And instead of just having
that.
here's like, how can you fuck this up? Even though people went and bought this shit like idiots, because all the figures they had in it were like mutated. I'm like, why couldn't they just put classic figures in there and or like classic early Happy Meal toys like to throwback? Like, why does everything got to be mutated now with 4 eyes or 6 arms or look like a fucking Funko Pop? Why can't it just be normal? What the fuck happened to everything? Like, I don't
It's
understand.
the decline of Western civilization, Tom.
Do you guys get what I'm saying though? Like,
Yeah,
it's
we need normal Mutant Ninja Turtles, guys. Not these
so
mutant
mutated.
Things. Oh, not so. Oh, okay.
We want our mutants to be normal.
It's on a spectrum.
But did you guys see this? Like, yeah, because Grimace had like 4 fucking eyes and shit. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Well, isn't a little bit of that just
Yeah, see, that's what happens when you try to make. Oh, they're taking the big kids meal too literally. Now we have to make it look adult oriented. It's like we didn't get into those things for that. We got into it for the nostalgia of what we know Grimace Hamburger as, not as some edgy adult version.
Yeah, part of that is they're just trying to capture people who buy every item. So we're gonna make something a little.
Oh, there is a
different.
collector
Yeah.
market for the McDonald's Happy Meal. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about, just in case you guys are like, oh, what is he talking about? This. What the fuck is that abomination?
Breakfast.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Is this McDonald's characters as interpreted by some kind of like impressionist
Oh, here's a
artist
better
of the
one.
day or
Hang
something?
on. There's a better one yet. Hang on.
David Lynch's McDonald's or something?
I think so. Like, it was all of them were like that. Here, I don't know if this was like, what is this shit lately though? I just don't get it.
Kids like gross stuff, I guess.
But these are supposed to be for adults.
What?
Why are adults buying Happy Meals?
Well, that's what I was just saying. There is like this collector market.
Adults can be happy too, Script Doctor. Come on.
Script generally adults are the ones that buy Happy Meals for the
Well, not just that. I mean, it was a
They don't
throwback
keep
to the
toys unless they're
anniversary.
mean.
Well, it was a throwback to the anniversary script, and that's the thing is the Happy Meal didn't become a thing until like 84. I mean, they tried it and tried it and tried it, but until the chicken nuggets were introduced, it was never a thing at every McDonald's.
Wait.
Whoops,
Okay,
sorry.
here's my theory. Here's my theory. Every time I see something that is classic and it's just slightly, or in this case, ridiculously off, is there some kind of rights concern with the original designs?
I don't
Is
think
that
so.
it?
I think they were just
No?
trying to make these like I think these were some like I'm waiting for somebody in the chat to say, "Oh, they're from this." Like
Okay.
they're because like the Funko Pops,
Right,
like,
right.
like some sort of thing I missed that I'm not hip to. There you go. There you go.
See here, this is the Raphael I got. And it's like you guys weird looking.
Oh, that's not the
tail.
NECA one
That's
I
a
was
tail.
talking about.
No, I think this is Playmates actually. This is the one that came with a Hopper from Stranger Things when they were doing the TMNT Stranger Things.
I'll show you the ones I'm
obviously
And that's a
based
tail,
off
ladies
the-
and gentlemen. That is a tail.
Yes, that's a tail.
Tail.
That's
yes.
because it's based off the original Mirage look, where they all had red bandanas.
Yes.
Yep.
They all had the red bandanas. So this was,
These
and
are
yes,
a little different
this
that I'm
is
talking about.
Raphael's.
here.
Like how it works out. You
That
got
is
his
OG.
color anyway.
OG. These
Yeah.
are the
I
ones
like
I'm
this figure,
talking
though.
about.
It's a cool figure. It stands up very
Have
well.
you seen
very
these yet?
posable.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, dude, that looks nice.
These are the ones I want.
Yeah, I want me some of that. But no, this is a cool thing. It's really tall too, which I like because like if you put it next to the one of the TMNT from the
I have a
from the
variation on
80s
those, but I don't
Here.
have that one.
Look how much taller this is compared to
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's a nice, cool, like big figure. I like.
I
this.
have a
Like, don't
Playmates
get
one,
me
but it's
wrong,
not
I
that
still love this.
articulated. I had a
I still
black and
love
white version of those too.
Oh, dude, I saw an SDCC exclusive 4-pack of them all in black and white that was at my comic shop, and the guy said he managed to get a hold of one from a friend who went to SDCC, and dude, it looked nice. I think it was like $100 all 4 in the package, but whew, I wanted it so bad, so bad. I was tempted. As we should all be, like that party bus for $500.
How did you forget that? How did you forget?
Oh, did we lose Tom?
I think we lost.
Oh, I'm muted and I didn't realize it.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Tickle Trunk says Tom always forgets to turn on sheep. That's
no.
70 subtitles.
I just didn't type anything in. It's not
You
Tom's
need
fault.
subtitles for Canadian.
What did he just say?
We speak different up here.
Exactly. What? Gosh, I don't understand all these freaking foreigners. Your Muslim uncle says, "Did Tom get the blimp?" I do have the blimp. I haven't pulled it out yet. I should do it for a video
You
though.
should pull
it out.
Yeah,
I did show you guys. I got Moss Man the other night though.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, that's a nice. Oh yeah.
He's
good
over
one.
here for donuts. Don't listen to him, man. He's a hoser.
Sorry. That.
Was that Rick Moranis?
It was Bob and Doug. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Restocking.
Was that AI?
No, it was from one of the skits of the movie. I know. I recognized
it. Was from the album.
It's from the album. Okay, yeah. Okay. Do you have that album? Send it to me if you got it, dude. I lost it.
I got it. Yeah, I'll send it.
I had it, and I cannot fucking find it. Otherwise, I'd played it on MEAD Radio a million times by now. I used to have the Christmas song and everything too.
Oh god, yeah. Well, I've even got that. You know, it's somewhere.
Yeah, everything you got of Bob and Doug, I'll take it.
Good day. Oh, it's going pretty good. Good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you that stuff.
We're gonna do the
away.
Christmas album now. Okay. Hey, yeah. Okay.
Did you see? There's a black and white where it's their bandanas being colored. Coming to Entertainment Earth. It's $100. So just like the previous
send me the
one.
link and I'll see.
I'll send it to you. This time the difference is, whereas the previous SDCC exclusive, it was all black white. Their bandanas are individually colored on this one. It looks like it's based off the Eastman IDW.
Oh, okay, yeah. I did see these.
Those actually look nice.
Here, I'll share these for the chat, so they know what you're talking
good.
about here. I don't like the heads on them, but for those who may like them, here you go. Here's the link. Again, if you use our links, if you guys ever want to buy anything from Entertainment Earth, let me know. I'll send you a link with our affiliate link. I don't know how else to do it. And you can always help out Midnight's Edge that way. So
yes, get your TMNT via Midnight's Edge. That's the way.
That help us out greatly. All right. So what did we have here also for super chats? Here we had My Beavers Unit. How you doing, My Beavers Unit? Good to see you. Who says Fugler, aka Down Syndrome Turtle, I'll eat your face. Yeah, it didn't look like that. Oh my god. That thing was scary. She sends in another one, says, yes, Ronald had pubic hair and fries.
No.
Now that's an adult toy. I mean, yeah. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, I'm all for fugglers. I used to collect boglins. Now, boglins were a thing, but these fugglers look like another, like they're trying to be like, it's like Five Nights at Freddy's meets Funko Pops.
Mad Balls. Anybody collect Mad Balls?
Oh, yeah, they're a lot like Mad Balls. Yes, because at least Mad Balls were those characters, but they were deformed versions of them. Yes. Because they had like Freddy Mad Ball, Jason Mad Ball. What was some of the other ones they had? They had other characters.
They did do those, but they were like the original run was like original characters like Screaming Meanie and all these other things. Yeah.
But that's what I was trying to say. Like Boglins, those were all original. But like, yeah, you're right. Mad Balls eventually, though, did do licensed ones. And that was kind of the first time I really, between that and I guess those little rubber wrestling figures. Muscle Men, yes.
Muscles.
They did some licensed one too after a while. I even have the He-Man licensed ones of those.
Yeah. Muscles were the Pokemon of their day. That was
kind of.
Yeah.
I remember, if you had like the purple or the pink ones, that was always a big deal too. And
yeah. Oh man, Muscles are great.
My buddy was really into them. I thought they were okay. I was just like, Mr. Tickle Trunk says, Tom always forgets to turn. Oh, we got this one already. Why did we get, what did I do? Go backwards? Yes, probably. I did. Because I don't have 6 here. I don't know where 6 is. I hope she's doing okay. Haven't heard from her in a couple days. Maybe she's just taking a few days off. My Beaver's Unit says, more eyes to see you with, extra eyes to see you.
Oh, God.
They're gonna get us in our sleep. Thank you for that, my Beavers unit. And Mecha J says, "You guys excited for upcoming TMNT Ronin game?" I don't know much about it. That trailer didn't show us much of anything, so I don't know what to expect. Have you guys
Cautiously
seen it?
optimistic, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where like I don't know what to expect because I didn't see any gameplay, didn't see what the story is going to be in the game. Is it going to just be lifted straight out of the story or what? I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of excitement about it. I mean, especially with games like Elden Ring, which I get the impression that it's attempting to emulate that style. But there's no way to know, right?
Could be
good.
Would hope with something.
Could be great. I'd be surprised if it was less than good.
Yeah, with something that niche and fan specific, you would think that they would want to do a good job on it. But we've all been disappointed by licensed works before, so who knows?
My only impression about the game is it's looking like it's a Dark Souls type, but whether or not it's going to be a 75 or 80 out of 100 or a 90, I mean, don't know yet, right? It's too early to tell. I don't think it's going to be awful. I don't.
If they go for a Sekiro kind of thing, then maybe that'd be a better fit.
Yeah, I think that's the direction they're trying to go with it, which means it could be amazing. It really could be, right? Just have to see how it goes. Get a little further into development. Get more
Tom muted
information.
again? He doesn't know it.
I was answering something. No, you're fine. You guys are fine. I was letting you chit chat about the game because CC's more the gamer. So
yeah, I don't know much about the gaming too much either. I hope it's good.
Lifetime
I hope
gamer.
it's good.
Yeah.
Used to change
I
the
hope
lyrics
so too. It's. Go ahead.
So your Muslim uncle says used to change the lyrics to commercial "My Balls." Oh, the Mad Balls one's "My Balls." Hey Flash, I'm gonna send you a link if you're not busy. Hop in. Otherwise, I understand if you're busy. I know around this time you're usually trying to get the youngin down to sleep.
I just looked at the TMNT numbers from the 2007 movie. So, dude, it opened.
That one did well.
It opened up to 24 million in 2007. I think the new one I count this year was right in line. So technically, that means obviously with you adjust for inflation, the 2007 one did much better.
Oh, dude, this new one has barely grossed as much as the original 1990 film did in its opening weekend.
Well, that one's no shock. That one,
people don't even think about how much money that first movie made.
Oh, dude, it was a cultural phenomenon.
It basically made $70 million in its opening weekend with inflation. It did 25 to 30 million depending on where you look.
Yes,
and that was even when markets were way different.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, what'd you say, Script?
That was essentially the
2003
franchise
series was so fantastic.
Yeah, and then from there on,
the releases on those. There should be reissues on those figures for the 2003 series.
They never did. It's Razor Fist, I think, brought that up, or it was Yellow Flash, one of the two. I can't remember which now. Was it Yellow Flash? I think it was you, Yellow Flash. If you're in the chat, let me know. I think it was you that brought up that. Yeah, they've been ignoring that series as far as all their reissues of things and stuff like that. I don't know if the rights are wrapped up in that or what.
I would love, but weren't they all released through Hasbro though? And also,
Playmates generally had the.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Playmates. That's what I meant. Playmates.
But that's the thing is they have spread Playmates. I think had an exclusive for a while, and then that broke off, and that's when NECA and all the rest of them started coming in and making turtle stuff. But
also, if you look on the Instagram of Playmates, and they show off hints where they want to hey, which figure should we do next? And they'll show all the versions of these characters, whether it's the Bathe figures or the 2012 figures or the Rise figures or the 2003 or obviously the original movies and 87 cartoon. And I'm just like, okay, don't tease it on these foes. Just get something going with those figures because they do look nice. And I would like some. I love the design of those characters from that show. I think it'd be great to have.
I mean, this is what I was thinking here is maybe 4Kids has some kind of rights hold on it and they don't want to, but they did just get the series. So, I mean, and they've had the series on Paramount Plus for a while. So I don't see why there should be any hurdles. I don't know why they're ignoring it. I mean, maybe after they see the sales of the Blu or the DVDs of the 2003 series, they'll change their minds. But that or just the licensees aren't licensing anything for it. That's all. Who knows? But we are losing Scribelight here in about 5 minutes. You want to tell everybody quick about your channel and all that stuff? I know you are you going to do a TED Talk? Is that what you're up to?
Yeah, so I do a whole bunch of different things on my channel. But
I try to check into those. Yeah.
Yeah, my consistent series on Thursday nights is called TED Excellence, and I take a look at TED Talks of various and sundry subjects just for fun and education. I've also got a series that I'm working on. I hope to have a new episode up soon. It's called Living on Borrowed Crime, which is an interview series with true crime content creators here on YouTube. And I got a couple of new people lined up, hopefully soon, to premiere a couple new interviews. And beyond that, yeah, I've got several other streams going on, but those are the big ones. And I want to thank Tom for inviting me on again. I appreciate the shout out and everything. And I like talking to you guys about all the nerdy stuff that I can't talk to anybody else about because they just
we got to do some more stuff. I loved our conversation you and I and Script had. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know you and I have been talking about something, and I think we can work with what you had said. We'll just have to come up.
Yeah,
with
we should
some
experiment.
Stuff
I'll nudge you about it in the near future.
Yeah.
We'll get something going. Well,
Absolutely.
Everyone have a good rest of the night. Everybody stay cool where you're hot, and I stay hot where you're cool. And guys, nice talking to you, and I'll hopefully see you all soon.
Good, man.
Take care.
Good night, mate.
Good one.
Everybody.
Check out Scribelight's channel. Mr. T's sharing the link. Thank you so very much. There you go. Anyway, we've got another story here. Disney is in some hot water, so it's like, what's new this week with Disney? I need to make a theme song.
We have a couple of things going on this week.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with this one. They're being sued by a film finance partner, TSG, which claims media giant used every trick in the Hollywood accounting book
No
to
shit.
hoard slate profits.
We'll be.
So it's another day that ends in Y for Disney, basically. But this is some pretty salacious claims here. I wish we had Mikey or one of our other Disney correspondents with us, but hey, we're going to go forge forward at just the same. Disney has been hit with a lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court by film financier TSG, which claims that the media giant used nearly every trick in the Hollywood accounting book to hoard hundreds of millions in profit. Echoing the Scarlett Johansson suit over the release of Black Widow. Let me make this just a little bit bigger here so I can see it better.
I mean, there's already an oxymoron there. Has Disney made hundreds of millions in profits since the release of Black Widow?
Well, that's kind of the same thing we bring up with the actors and shit when the strikes shit. Like they're like, where's my money? It's like, there ain't no money, motherfucker. This is all loss leader.
I mean, well, like for Disney, it's definitely a loss leader. For other studios, there might be profits to be made. There's no numbers of transparency, but when you see the box office, when you see the DTC market, raises questions.
I hear you. Echoing the Scarlett Johansson suit over the release of Black Widow. I almost said Black Panther. Sorry. Across both movie theaters and Disney Plus in 2021, TSG contends that Disney made a number of movies aimed at feathering its own streaming nest. Warner Media, now Warner Brothers Discovery, faced similar legal blowback from a longtime co-financier partner, Village Roadshow, over the day-and-date streaming release of The Matrix Resurrections and Resurrections. Should be just called Matrix Erections, because it is. It's just about a man who's getting ready for a date with an old flame who can't get it up anymore, so he has to take a little blue pill. And then he can fly.
Yeah.
It's true.
And it gives him heart palpitations, yeah.
It gives him, yeah, because he has a fucking erection for more than 4 hours and he didn't see a doctor.
That's what faux T root's for.
Yeah, TSG has spent $3.3 billion to help back some 140 projects at Fox. Okay, so this is the same thing as the other story anyway, but it's from a different perspective, basically. But yeah, like this is them being accused of self-dealing, which is in our topic of the day. The other headline actually said it better, but same story, different headline. Excuse me. Which joined the Disney fold as part of the $71.3 billion acquisition of most of 21st Century Fox in 2019. TSG's credit included Banshees of Inisherin, Avatar: The Way of the Water, Bohemian Rhapsody, Deadpool, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and The Shape of Water. Suit names 20th Century Fox Film Corporation and the Walt Disney Company as the defendants, referring to numerous times the studio entity as Fox, even though the entity owned by Disney is now called 20th Century Studios. Well, guess what? What have I said time and fucking time again? Nobody associates Fox with Fox News as much as they like to think. You could change it tomorrow and nobody'd fucking notice. Now you take the Fox out of 20th Century Fox, everybody's going to notice because that's what everybody associates it with. Or Fox Television, second of all. Anyway, even though Disney did not immediately respond to Deadline's request for comment on the suit. The distribution is the crux of the case, as it was with Johansson's complaint, which was brought by Bird Morella partner John Berlinski, the same lawyer repping TSG. After issuing a barbed statement attacking Johansson, Disney wound up settling with the star. Since COVID, studios have overhauled long-established business practices in terms of film distribution. Specifically, the theatrical window has come under pressure as consumers have become accustomed to streaming and media companies pour billions into their services. In TSG's view, the change have come at the expense. I think it means has come.
No, it says the changes have come.
Oh, Jesus, I can't read right now.
You're on a giant screen.
No, it's on the other screen. That's why. I got two screens. I use this one so it's bigger on your screen, but it's farther away from me.
This is getting really weird. It's all good about getting bigger.
Plus I took my pain meds.
Oh, those are the best, aren't they, Tom? Those are the best.
It shows.
They're starting to kick in. That's part of it. Because I was doing good there for a little bit. Anyway, the window of film distribution is designed to maximize profits for the studios and for stakeholders like TSG by preventing one distribution revenue stream from cannibalizing another, the lawsuit says. When windows are collapsed on one another, however, the studio and its investors miss out on a significant potential sources of revenue, as we've pointed out time and time again. Now, do they actually mention? Okay, I want to flip over to the other version of the story here because I like this version of it too, because this goes along with stuff we've said in the past, where basically they're self-dealing here. And that's what they accuse them of in Variety's write-up of this. Let me get rid of this stupid video down here. Okay. TSG Entertainment, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what it says here. Sought to prop up its stock price and pay packages of CEOs such as Bob Iger and Bob Chapek at TSG's expense. Yes, this is the thing. It gets more deeper into some other things. Then it gets similar here with the echoes of the Scarlett Johansson claim filed in her own lawsuit, blah, 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 blah. And moving on. TSG and Johansson share the same attorney. We already got to that. Let's see here. It's all pretty much the same. But yeah, so what's your guys's... they're claiming breach of contract here, among other things. Let's start with you, Script, since you're within the industry. How do you see this allegation towards Disney?
I don't know if it has much merit because if I recall correctly, during the early talks of selling Fox to Disney, Fox had to renegotiate all their distribution window contracts with all their titles so that Disney could actually choose where they wanted to put them. So if they agreed to that revision of their contract, which actually had to have taken place in order for the sale to be committed, they're not going to have much to say with regards to potential loss of profits because they already signed a revised contract that gave Disney the permission to distribute however they wish.
All right, CC, how do you see this?
It just blows my mind how much money Disney has blown trying to have the biggest schlong. Like Disney Plus, they've blown billions of dollars on it. All they ever had to do was make some of their back catalog available, put no money into it whatsoever, and let people subscribe to it to enjoy their existing content. And they might not have been the biggest schlong in the house. There may have been bigger companies like Netflix. They don't have to be the biggest. They never had to be. They never had to produce content. They just had to enjoy they had to let people pay for the content they already had. Put almost no money into it and reap pure profit, except for maybe just the cost of maintaining the service and the servers. But they went all in, spending billions of dollars on new content. For what? They already had great content, and it just I understand why they did it, but they never needed to do it. That's my take. They had everything they needed just to get free money from people who wanted to subscribe to great shows, like Recess or DuckTales. They had everything. They had decades of great content. They could have just put some of it on the service and let people pay for it. It would have been that easy.
All right, I just wanted to make sure he was done talking because he's having some connection issues there. Brian, how about you?
Oh, I think CC's got a fantastic point. I think the desire to be the biggest has outweighed the desire to make a tidy profit. And this kind of joining this arms race that they were always way behind in from the start, instead of exploiting I mean, if we're talking Fox content over the decades, over a century, there's an incredible amount of content there that if that was to be judiciously rotated on a streaming platform like Disney Plus, would have been an extremely attractive proposition at the right price. But their desire to churn out new substandard content has overridden that. But I'm not sure what we're seeing. I mean, Script probably nailed it much better than I ever could, but I'm not sure what we're seeing here isn't common practice anyway. Never mind just in Hollywood, but in corporate businesses all over the place anyway. There's a lot of, I've never worked in the entertainment business, I've worked in corporations, and there's a lot of this kind of thing goes on. Not illegal, not suggesting illegality, but just the sleight of hand that is used to maneuver brands around and assets between brands and between different parts of the corporation globally. So
yeah,
there's an element of that, and I'm not sure there's anything. It's a kind of a smoking water pistol, not a smoking gun, in a sense. That's the way I see it. Anyway, it's not. Yeah, I don't think they've got. I don't think they got a great case going here, but not to say they're not right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how the Warner Brothers case panned out. I mean, I know they had to pay out a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, in certain respects, but Klobby or Nick, sorry, I didn't mean to skip Nick here, but Klobby or Nick, whoever wants to go first, your feelings on it.
I mean, I don't got anything any different from what's been said before, but I will say it is entertaining to watch play out because it shows you how cocky they got. They got way overconfident with this, and now they're saying all this stuff. This is what happens when you do this, and it shows that even a corporation as big as they are, they can take hits too. And then it seems like now we're seeing the stage where it's actually starting to bleed a little. So, yeah, now the monster is not invincible no more. That's all I got.
Klobby? Did we lose Klobby?
He's in the he's in a
He
black
just
hole.
played BRB a few minutes ago, so
He's
he's
I didn't even see that.
He's
just
in the
wrote in private
multiverse.
chat. Okay.
He's
So he'll be
slipped
RB. Yeah, I gotta let Sadie out here too in a
He
minute.
slipped into the multiverse somewhere.
She's bugging him. But yeah, I mean, I get what Script's saying, but I wonder if there isn't some ground to be stood on here by some people, because I mean, with the way the Warner Brothers thing panned out and the way these studios are doing this, I mean, it is kind of salacious in a way. They are kind of using other people's, which is nothing new for Hollywood, using other people's money to sell their streaming services. And I knew it was only going to be a matter of time. I mean, we knew just from our own reporting how unhappy Netflix was getting stuck in that Star Trek deal, and they were so happy to get the fuck out of it when they could. But this is even more deeper rooted, if you ask me, because these are companies that are getting involved, and they're expecting these movies to have full theatrical releases, right? Like, I mean, this is like also the who was it who did the Godzilla versus Kong one with Warner Brothers? Legendary, when they were accusing Warner Brothers of the same shit, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert on the history of Hollywood, but I'm pretty sure that in the pre-streaming days, similar things happened with distribution deals with cinema chains and in different countries. Things were promised to go over here, and they ended up going over there. And various sleight of hand was pulled, and investor money may well have, or studios that produced stuff that may not have been distributed in the way they wanted may have had similar complaints. It just feels a little bit like that. It's something that Hollywood does. Creative.
Well, I get what you're saying, but I wonder if this might be different. And I don't know if Script
It could
will
be,
agree,
yeah,
or disagree with me on
That's why I
this,
said
but
I'm not an expert.
yeah, no, I mean, I see this as more of a situation as, okay, let's say these producers and financiers have the understanding these movies are supposed to go to theaters, then have the normal kind of window there, and then have video and video on demand distribution, and then, you know, the cable and Netflix route, you know, and if you have a certain percentage of money that you're invested in this and you're expecting an amount back, or if, like, you know, you're looking at it as basically not maximizing its ability to make as much money as possible as a financier,
Yeah,
I'm going to get upset.
I think the key word there, though, Tom, is understanding.
Because
You may have
what's
an
happening
understanding, but what's written in the contract, that's different.
Well, that's true, but what's happening here is what I'm saying is, and this goes back to what we said before, when, like, you know, they were trying to claim that, you know, Ant-Man made this much money. Well, part of that money they were claiming was the money that Disney paid itself.
Yeah.
So they're literally self-dealing here. Like, they're saying, oh, it made $100. Well, if you take $100 from one pocket and put it in the other pocket, you did not make $100.
But it's not necessarily any different from a major film production organization having its own studio and paying that studio, physical lot studio, and paying them to make the movie for them. You know, which is what's always happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, even so, like some of the production companies that get a distribution deal with Warner Brothers licenses out or rents out the studios at Warner Brothers lot, and so Warner Brothers makes money off the money that they've just used to fund the movie that they're shooting. Like that's
right,
standard practice.
That's how inexpertly I was trying to say that. Thanks, Script.
You're welcome, sir.
It's standard tactics, I think, over the history of Hollywood.
And the thing is, it's all legal. That's the other part too. That's the laws say that's fine.
Yeah, I think it's what's written in the actual contracts that counts here. Was something written that was promised to happen that didn't happen?
Well, and that's where ScarJo kind of won her case, is that it kind of was in that way written, maybe not as clear as some would have liked, but it was written in a way that Disney said, all right, fine, we're just going to fucking pay her and not worry about it. And I mean, Warner Brothers paid Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot, and paid Legendary a big check for Dune and Godzilla. That was the other movie I was trying to think of. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, Script, but I wonder if Disney's not just going to end up cutting them a check at the end of the day. If they can. If they can afford it anyway.
Well, I mean, the thing is that if the case has merit and they say, yes, it can go to the next stage, yeah, Disney will most likely settle. But again, based on the reporting that has already come out right now, it looks like Fox, before they were acquired by Disney, took care of all that issues on the contract side of things.
You may be right. And that's why I wish we had somebody else here who's more into this stuff. Like I did reach out to Pro and Mikey and so on, but I think everybody's kind of busy, so they're not able to join us. But no, we'll have to follow them and see what they say about this. I don't know if Valiant's listening, hop in here, anybody for that matter, who may have another take on this or some insight into what, because I know what Script's saying, and in that case, yeah, but if it's stuff afterwards, you know, like that's the thing, is that's what we kept saying about the whole deal with Avatar.
Just so I understand,
after the sale, like after the Fox sale was made to Disney, and this is other investments that were made afterwards.
Oh, like if TSG had made a contract after the sale for another Disney product that
that was
okay.
So,
that I understand.
Yeah.
But,
like Black Widow did.
Yeah.
Like when they decided at the last minute to make Black Widow both, and they did a couple other movies in that same time period too. That
TSG didn't invest in Black Widow.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking here, is because that's what I don't know what movies they exactly invested in. That's it. Yeah. This just
because according to the articles posted here and the one on Deadline, the TSG deal specifically was with Fox Studios, not Disney.
So yeah, and it said they invested more than $3 billion in 140 Fox films. Yeah.
Yes, and Disney has not released the 140 Fox films that they've acquired.
No.
So there's also that part too. But again, that might have been renegotiated with Fox, saying that because again, TSG I think had distribution deals through Fox allowed for first or second window releases on HBO or HBO Max at that time, because Fox had to deal with Warner Brothers, and Fox had to kill that deal and renegotiate in order for their sale to occur to Disney. And if that's the case, TSG might not have merit on their case, because they would have to have updated and changed their contract as per Fox in order to solidify this sale to Disney. And if they didn't change the contract and Fox did it, then Fox would be in violation of that, and that violation would transfer over to Disney technically. In which case, that's also going to be very difficult to prove, because Disney's not actually the acting power that nixed the contract. It would be the people who previously owned Fox, in which case TSG would have to sue them in order to get any actual verdict in their favor.
All right. I think you're right, Script, except for one caveat, and that would be because looking at their slate of movies here they've released, the last movie that they did that would have had anything to do with Disney would have been in 2022, I'm sorry. Because through 2021 through 2022, they released Free Guy, West Side Story, Nightmare Alley, and then Death on the Nile in 2022.
Okay.
And then Avatar, obviously, as well.
And
other than that, they have not done any more. So unless these are movies that say Disney never released that they were supposed to release, maybe that's what I was wondering.
Well,
that's interesting, because if the articles didn't say that, yes, it's regarding, say, the other 130 films that have yet to be released. If they're on pending release and they're making a claim saying, well, you can't just leave these in pending forever because we've invested in these, then yes, you would actually have grounds to warrant a
That's
complaint.
what I'm curious about.
But again, if the contract stated that the release schedule is now fully in the hands of Disney for them to release whenever they wish to release, and TSG signed that, it doesn't matter that TSG says we want it released now. Disney has the power by saying, well, we signed a contract saying we can release it whenever the hell we want.
All right. Well, we have Mikey here to help us out. Mikey, the Mexican Iron Man.
I'm convinced you have cameras installed at my house, because I literally just got home a couple hours ago, and I literally had just set up my laptop and was starting laundry to get ready for the day tomorrow. Don't play the song. No, no, I'm gonna leave. Don't play the song.
But I have to.
No, I'm gonna leave.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on here with this TSG thing? Because Script and I are still trying to figure it all out.
I do love the song. So my quick answer, I was listening to you guys as I was emptying out the car. The answer is all of the above and more. so it's everything.
Oh, Nick just checked out. Check us out later on Toxic Tuesday. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
It's everything Script said, plus everything you theorized, and a list of other things. So when there was, did I hear something that there was something in the article that said every accounting trick in the book related to film accounting? Okay.
Yes.
So when the term self-dealing comes, hi everybody in chat. I don't have my other window up, so I can't tape hi at you, but I love you all. Hi mods, hi chat. I've been gone for 2 weeks. I'm back, bitches.
Hi, Mike.
Hi. Hi, glorious panel of amazing
I just
people.
gotta say, I've missed you.
We've all missed you.
I've been gone for 2
The
weeks.
Beatles have missed you.
Completely 2 weeks, like literally.
The Beatles have missed you.
When's the last time I was gone for 2 weeks?
It's a long time.
Lee Marvin.
Never.
The Beatles.
That's where the Beatles got their name
Actually,
from.
when I broke my leg.
The Wild Bunch.
So self-dealing is an accounting term that comes up on internal audit. And here's what it means. The more you know. So self-dealing has to do with when the studio that controls these IP properties and all the related contracts and the deals, what they do is they engage in revenue sharing splits or invoicing practices where they add costs and subtract revenue so that they basically squeeze out what otherwise would be the gross profit or net profit on which some of these financiers would be paid. Because typically what happens with financiers is they come in, they put a deal in, and they're typically structured as what's called a waterfall deal. And so they're looking to perhaps get their money back, but when they get their money back, that could be in gross points, gross profit points after top line expenses are paid, or net and or residuals. So in order to shortchange the financiers, and Tom, what was that quote you said? Like, what do you mean make money? What money? That line from what movie was that from that you always cite? Was it The Godfather? No. When someone was
internet money, or which one?
No, I don't know. You make a joke sometimes about some producer that wanted to know where their money was, and then the studio was like, "What money? We didn't make any money." Anyway.
So no, that's actually a true story. That's Ed Solomon who wrote
Men in Black.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay,
he
so
worked on Men in Black, and when he went to get his residuals for Men in Black, Sony's like, "Oh, the movie never made any money. In fact, it lost money."
Right. So self-dealing is when something, say for example, where we're going to say that there's all of a sudden Mexican Iron Man and Mexican Tom Productions all of a sudden presents an invoice to Mexican Script Doctor Studios, and there are some additional costs that came up in post-production, but in reality, it's all the same people. Or in this case with Disney, it's just another business unit. And so what they're doing is they're keeping the cash inside the House of Mouse so that it doesn't leave and go back to the financiers who actually finance the deal. It happens a lot. And the problem is that where it usually happens and when it starts to float to the table is usually 2 to 5 years after there's been a major merger or a major strategic realignment of of companies. So in this case, it's studios. I heard Script talking about the Fox thing a minute ago. Like this happens a lot. And so what happens is that you have Fox, and probably what happened is Fox and Disney entered in negotiations, and they're not worried about the financiers. They're just trying to get this deal done. Now, once the House of Mouse is able to basically control everything because it's controlling the negotiations. Whenever there's a merger like this buyout of Fox, Disney is setting all the terms because they're the ones with the cash. So they're now engaging. The self-dealing and the conflict of interest starts on minute one. And do you really think that Disney cares about anybody that financed anything before they walk into the picture? No, they don't give a shit. And so that's what self-dealing is. Self-dealing is basically a series of legal accounting maneuvers that are designed to suck up the gross profit, the gross revenue, minimize the gross profit, and add expenses so that there's nothing left for the financiers or less left for the financiers to bitch about.
And there's me thinking self-dealing was what Mikey did in his OnlyFans site.
It's really great to be back. I'm just so sad that Brian can no longer be with us.
I think he had to go eat dinner anyway.
Sorry.
How do you like that 70s rock, man?
You have the power. Yeah, so I think the interesting thing about this article is I think it mentions that there was an independent audit done. So this isn't just them speculating.
Oh, does the article say that, Brian?
Well, I don't know if this one says it, but other articles do say this.
Oh, well, then that's proof of what I was talking
about. Here, I'll
about.
give you the links to the article.
Yeah, an independent audit has been done of three of the movies, including the big one.
Okay,
because that's what Script and I were also trying to figure out.
So that's funny that they said three. So remember when I was saying a minute ago that these things float to the top? Well, they float to the top because there's been an audit, and that's how I found these things. Back when I had my office in California, is we would do it. Now, why three of these movies? Well, you do an audit sampling, and the sampling is always based on revenue or number, and you have to have a sample of at least three. It's always an odd number. Sometimes you might sample 7, 9, 11, or whatever. In this case, they probably picked three of the bigger productions. They probably picked them over different calendar year periods so that they could statistically get a sampling if this was what you call pervasive and systematic are the accounting terms when you look for this kind of fraud. So wow, Brian, yeah. So that's right in line with what I was talking about.
I think it's important that the Avatar, the Way of Water, is one of the three because that's made a lot of money.
Well, yeah, they're going to want to know where that money went.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's important. So.
And you actually, this is where they may have. There could be some kind of problem here with Avatar because I still wonder how the fuck they got away with putting it on both HBO and Disney Plus at the same time without HBO raising a huge fucking fuss. They had to have worked some deal out there too in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how fast these things move, but I think there's going to be a lot of more, and whether it'll ever get to court, but I think there's a lot of interesting.
Yeah, I doubt they won't.
Yeah, I don't think Disney wants this in court.
Well, when you have something like this where there's been an audit, you essentially already have them cornered. You don't need to.
Yes.
This basically, you announce that there's going to be a lawsuit as a strategy to get them to the table for arbitration, and then in arbitration you negotiate a settlement.
But that's not when things become public. I'm talking about, they don't want anything public. That's the thing.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. Script might be right that they have a really loose case against Disney, but that's the thing. Disney probably doesn't want any of their book shit publicly put out there. So,
wow, this even says that Fox and Disney refused to make offers for 10 of their tranches. Wow, so that means they're holding up their cash flow. No wonder they're pissed.
That doesn't surprise me with Disney. I've heard of them with shady practices as far as accounting goes, all kinds of different places, to the point where you even have to the level of where we've had Gary Ambrosia, who Mike, of course, who said he didn't even get his last paycheck when he worked for one of the Pirates movies.
Yeah, and it was a big check. I can't disclose how much, but he told me how much it was, and it was not insignificant.
Yeah, it was a
number.
Yeah, so they have, and he's not the only one to tell us stories like that out of Disney. So they do not want to pay anybody, from what we've heard. They even thought some of their sales renegotiated some of their contracts. Is kind of the stuff we had heard behind the scenes with the author situation, let's say, without dropping any names. But yeah. And I think we even covered some of that in our past interviews. But no, I think this is interesting, and I'm glad you could hop in, Mike, and explain some of this, because this is way beyond my pay grade. And I did not understand where this begins and ends, and I'm sure you may not even know that, but I'm curious too, because they said they have 140 films. Even looking at their slate, they don't even have 100. I don't even think there's 140 films that they've produced yet. So that's what I was thinking, is it's movies that Disney might be even holding up from being released. That's what I was curious about too, but I don't know.
I think although the audit was only done in 3 movies, you said there was 130 movies have been included in.
That's what they had done. That's their history in terms of investment. But they're really pissed about 13. It says 13 separate tranches of 5 films apiece. What is that? 13 times 5.
Well, they said just with Disney alone, they've invested in 140 features. Wow. That's what I was saying. Looking at their Wikipedia, they've only been around they've only been around for 10 years. They haven't made that many movies, really. They've, as a total, maybe 100 movies they've produced, around that number. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be a bunch of projects that they had stuck money into that Disney is either sitting on or did something with. That's where I'm wondering, what did they do with this money? Did they funnel it into other projects, or what did they do? They pull a cannon? What the fuck?
Well, the money technically would have already been spent, because it was all done under Fox.
True.
So
it wasn't all under Fox. That's my question.
Yes.
Well, there's definitely not 100 and some movies that have been released here that are Fox features that are in this list.
Very true. Sure. Exactly. Disney, again, if Disney negotiated saying that, and when we're buying Fox stuff, when we're buying everything that you have, we want our own schedule of when we want to release these movies and how. And if Fox agreed to that, that means that all the contracts they had of anyone that invested in their films would have to be revised to allow for that condition to be met. And if Disney got that and purchased Fox as a result of that, technically Disney is not in the wrong for what they did, because they did it so that they could have control over the properties with which they buy. Now, these investment firms have every right to be upset, but if they agreed to the contract terms that were updated by Fox, they don't have a case that stands on merit. And that's really what comes down to here. If I make a deal with Tom saying, hey, you're going to invest in my movie, that's great. And then Mike comes in and says, hey, I want to buy all your movies that you're making. I have to go back to you and say, Tom, we have to do a new contract with regards to your investment here, because someone else is buying my company. And in order for me to buy that company and for you to get your money, you have to agree to these new terms. And if you sign those contracts and then you're waiting for the movie that you invested to be released, but in that contract says that Mike can release it whenever he wants, you could try and take it up with Mike, but he's not at fault for that. You'd have to take it up with me. And even then, you can't prove fault on me, because you signed the contract saying that you agreed to these conditions.
In this case, Tom agreed to it. And using it, just building on that, script is Disney, Tom is TSG, and I'm Fox. And I basically said in our negotiations with Tom, hey, Tom, don't worry. We're gonna do 13 tranches. Each tranche has 5 films in it. And don't worry, if we don't move forward, I'll buy it back from you, and then you can move on and get your cash back, so you can go do other stuff. And I'll hold on to the IP. Meanwhile, I made a deal with Script, and now Script comes in. It's like, I don't have to buy shit back from Tom, and I don't have to give Tom back money. Contract says I don't have to, so I'm not gonna.
There does appear to be a second element to this, though. It's not just about revenue. It's the fact that Disney TSG is claiming that Disney charged them more money than they should have.
Yeah, that's the self-dealing component.
Yeah, that's the sticky one. I think that's that
Well, I
TSG
mean, it's Disney
could have a
charged
great case
themselves
there.
more
You gotta-
money.
yeah.
And the other part too is that it doesn't matter that Disney charged themselves more money. There's nothing in the contract saying that part of that charge has to go to TSG, then they're not entitled to that money. So like again, this is standard operating procedure for Hollywood. Like I'm very kind of familiar with it because I've seen these deals and many of them I refuse to sign because it's like I can see the forest for the trees. I am not making a cent if I were to sign this contract.
Well, guys, I'm just really shocked because I've been gone for 2 weeks and I came back and the first thing I'm reading is that Disney is pissing people off. It's very shocking to me, guys.
Yeah, and I think that the TSG are saying that Bob Iger didn't do Disney any favors in the recent earnings call with the strategy of pumping stuff into Disney Plus without being able to prove they can make any money out of it, because he said we grew this business really fast before we even understood where our pricing strategy could or should be. That's a fairly damning statement if you look at it in a certain legal light.
It's an admission of basically not maintaining your fiduciary duties to your stockholders because it's like we grew this so fast we didn't know how much we should charge. It's like no, if you can charge more, you're supposed to do that. That's your prerogative.
And then you lost all our money that we gave you.
Yeah.
It's a real simplification on my part, but nobody likes paying taxes. And if I was a business, I would do everything in my power to not pay taxes. And in life, I realized that the less I actually, quote unquote, own, the less money I technically have. And so therefore, the less I have to pay taxes. And Disney, they can afford the most expensive lawyers in the world. So you think they're not going to try and avoid paying people anything they don't technically have to pay? They're going to do everything in their power
than it would be on the deals they make. Yeah,
exactly. They will do everything they can to find any loophole.
As any corporation would. Yeah, it doesn't matter in the entertainment business or other businesses.
And they should do that because when you take a look at what governments are spending those tax dollars on, it's like, no, you are not entitled to this, clearly. Like if you as a citizen do not see any value from your tax dollar, then yes, that is wrong because that's not the agreement that it was made between, a self-governing body.
All right, Brian, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, got to slip out over to Toxic Tuesday, so see everybody over at
I'll
Toxic
be over there
Tuesday.
soon, yep.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Tom, and of course to the panel for putting out with me, and thanks to the chat.
Oh yeah, we try.
See y'all soon.
Take care, brother. All right.
Wow, that's a really sexy microphone stand, that guy.
That was the stories basically. We went a lot longer on the stories than I had planned on. I mean, there was a couple of smaller ones I was going to bring in, but we're not even going to bother with them now. But no, Mikey, I really want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to hop in here. I know you've been so busy lately and we missed you.
Well, I'm back. Starting tomorrow, I'm back.
Awesome sauce. Great. I'm glad to hear it.
Haven't done any work or YouTubing in 2 weeks. I'm like,
how do you feel?
Dude, I feel like if you hadn't dragged me back, I don't know if I ever would come back to YouTube.
You wouldn't even let me do the damn theme song.
Dude, it's so weird. Like literally,
I wrote that for you.
I know I love that song, but I just wanted to get to the business of the business. You know how I am.
But anyway, you got anything coming up you want to plug at all?
Good God, no. Are you kidding? I've been off YouTube for 2 weeks. If you hadn't dragged me back, I'm not sure if I would have come back, frankly. I've been gone for 2 weeks and I've been living life in the real world. And I got to tell you, I love all of you on this panel. I love everybody in chat. I love all the friends I've made. But good God, it was nice to go touch some grass and get out in the real world and not be in this vortex as much as I have been. So love you all. I'm back. You can't get rid of me yet. I'm back.
Oh, I never would get. I'd track your ass down like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh yeah, like you tracked down that leftover pizza, Tom.
Hey, you know what I had for a snack before the show?
You want to know what I woke up to Monday morning from someone? Someone snapped a picture of you on Sunday night. Someone snapped a picture of you on Sunday night and texted it to me. I woke up to this Monday morning.
Oh, don't be eating that.
What? It's apples and cheese and crackers. That's what I had for a snack.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
They're massively preservative.
For crying out loud, I can't do nothing right.
Can't win, man.
Just don't get an apple that's not in a package.
I don't know how to deal with that stuff.
Me either.
I woke up to this
Go to
photo.
a
Oh, for
bakery,
crying out loud!
huh?
Who sent you that?
An anonymous,
There's no such thing. You tell me. Who
an
sent
anonymous informant.
that? Wait, pull it down just a little bit more. I can't see it very well. Who is that?
Anonymous photo.
Fudo? Who is
No, I
Fudo?
clicked on it so
pizza.
you can't see who did it, but you can probably.
God
An
damn it.
anonymous concerned viewer snapped this picture of you.
Oh, photo.
An anonymous.
it is.
Fess
concerned
up. Who
viewer
did it?
as you were eating pizza.
How do you know it's pizza?
Yeah, it could be vegetables that look like pizza.
Yeah, there's
Could
no
be a pie.
evidence that
The
there's
evidence
pizza.
is clear.
Are you
Ladies
even
and
sure
gentlemen,
that's me? That doesn't even look nothing like me.
Circumstantial evidence.
Look at that.
That could
Oh, that's
be
pretty
that
close.
could be AI.
Your Honor, my client may or may not
That's
have been eating
true.
pizza. You cannot prove the burden of proof is on you.
Oh yeah.
Was it
Deep
pizza or was it not
Let me
pizza?
take it up to 1080. Let me take it up to 1080.
Still,
Crap.
do you have any evidence of that pizza exists?
I still say that could be AI.
Yeah, that could be.
It had
CG
mushrooms on it.
pizza. If it no, it
Okay,
didn't
now
exist.
that's a good point. It's got mushrooms. It must be.
The evidence is clear.
'Cause
Ladies
nobody
and
likes
gentlemen of
mushrooms.
jury.
You can't put mushrooms on fake AI pizza, huh?
I still
you
don't see. Whoa.
How you like how someone sold you out? That's how I woke up to that yesterday morning.
I want to know who sold me out.
This is what Tom was eating late last night. What?
Now I want to know who my enemies are.
No, he's not your enemy. He's your friend. He's one of our best friends, actually. On YouTube.
Oh, it's culture.
Oh,
Nope.
now
It was an anonymous, concerned citizen.
Well, I know it wasn't Nick because Nick wouldn't narc my ass out.
No, Nick.
Nick would never narc you out.
Well, he just admitted it because he said narc.
Look at what Carlos in the chat. I did it, Tom. I did it because this madness.
You did it. Really?
No, it wasn't
Juan.
one. It wasn't
No.
one, but
It was Paulie, probably. No,
That's
No,
a
it was
million to
Paulie.
one.
I'm just kidding.
It was-
Paulie would yell.
Paulie's.
He would yell like himself.
Paulie
Yeah.
probably got one too.
No, Paulie probably received one, but Paulie's too nice of a guy to do that to you, to me.
He'll probably just yell at himself. So yeah.
Yeah, Paulie's a good guy. I would sell you on a heartbeat, but you know. Where your health is concerned, Thomas Connors Jr. You know when I'm mad at you, that's when I call you Thomas Connors.
Yeah, you
Jr.
say the whole name. Yeah.
Thomas Connors Jr.
All right. Klobby, what you got going on? I know you got stuff.
Well, not right this moment. Tomorrow night, might be over there with Stone Loki at the comic shop, comic book round table. Wednesday night tomorrow, my Wednesday night show, continuing Jack Kirby month on
Jack
Clobber
Kirby
Times.
month.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And then of course, Thursday night, the Clubhouse again with Raquel and Mark again. Thanks for popping in there, Tom. What a great surprise that was the other night. You guys were amazing. You and Culture and Nick, and Eric. So then Friday night, hanging out with my buddy J-Man, reviewing some Kirby comics, and then with Nick and the gang reviewing a Star Wars comic. And then Saturday night, Star Trek, of course, with Raquel, reviewing. We're on Star Trek Voyager right now.
You're on Voyager.
God help us. It's all right compared to the new filth.
Contradictions of Janeway have you found so far?
Well, we just finished the first season last week, so we're now starting the second season. And you know what? After it's a breath of fresh air when you see the filth that they're making now. That's called Star Trek. That isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it any day long.
Yeah.
You know. So
Voyager has some great episodes.
There's some good stuff there.
It's variable in its quality, but the really great episodes, they stand up.
Yeah, this Neelix is tough to take though.
I am of the mind that I think Neelix is just Brian Fuller. I think Brian Fuller and Neelix are one and the same personality.
Oh wow,
And I don't
worst
think as an
character
insult to
ever.
Brian Fuller because Brian Fuller is actually quite knowledgeable but he's also eager and willing to please and likes to intrude in things that he shouldn't do.
Man, because he's the worst character on the side of Wesley.
He's really bad. However, does have a fairly okay love story between Tom and B'Elanna.
Like that?
I mean, like I believe it as opposed to the fact that it doesn't feel forced and it doesn't feel like it's an overnight thing.
Like Kira and Oda was terrible, and some of those other ones on DS9 were terrible, and this one's not bad.
This one it moves at a better pace where you're like, oh, I can actually believe these two actually fall in love, and I mean the stuff after they got married was kind of weird, but
I'm actually enjoying this better than we did DS9. To be honest, that was just a soap opera about politics and war, and it's not really Star Trek, and it's what Star Trek should be doing. Not really
'Cause
much of a
one the
science
things-
fiction show.
Wow.
I mean, I love DS9 for a lot of stuff, but one of its biggest flaws is that it shrunk the galaxy. Essentially, like it made the galaxy into it's the Dominion, the Romulans, the Klingons, and the Federation and Cardassians. Like you really just shrunk the potential for Star Trek to be vast. It's like, okay, it's now just Alpha, Beta Quadrant, Gamma Quadrant. They're small. We can get to any point, any time. The politics are all figured out. There's nothing more to discover, apparently, because these superpowers are dominating the narrative. It's like, oh, dang, that's not what it's supposed to be about. But I really love
war, and
Sisko's
religion.
Character. Yeah.
Yeah. God's fault.
DS9's my favorite, but as the story goes, they got pitched Babylon 5, and then
ripped Babylon
instead
5.
of taking it, they did their own thing based on Babylon 5. Right?
5 was way better. Sorry, I gotta say.
It is. I mean, it is. Babylon 5 is a classic.
But Razorfist has actually well-documented stuff on his channels explaining how that's not actually the case.
That's fair. I mean, if it is,
I don't know. Dave Cullen made a pretty good case the other way.
Dave Cullen says whatever he wants to.
Well, yeah, look, I don't agree with
Dave Cullen. Yeah,
what are we fighting about right now?
But Cullen doesn't like. He likes Picard season 3, so he's questionable right there. So there you go.
I'll just say this: that
we'll just talk about Star Trek, Mike.
The employment records at Paramount dealing with CBS Studios at that time don't line up with the stories of when the show was pitched and versus when it was released. I'll just put it that way.
One did come out before another, and it was definitely there's so many things taken that are in DS9 that were in the B5 scripts or B5.
Yeah,
there's a lot of very similar concepts, but the thing is
even
that
words.
Words are universal.
Made up words like Ducat, and being a leader, what he was. There's a lot of stuff like that. But anyway, that's along.
Babylon 5 also stole essentially the X-Wing and A-Wing silhouettes for their stuff, and then then Deep Space Nine introduced the Defiant, and then a few months later, Babylon 5 introduced their own version of that. So listen, there's lots of trading going around.
Could have been both ways.
Again, listen, in Hollywood, when a hot script goes around, everybody reads it, and you kind of know. And there's also like recorded stamps of when they read it and when they saw it. And there's an incongruity with regards to the lining up of when JMS pitched it to the people at the studio and the people that were already working on it prior to that pitch.
And that was the thing with Dial of Destiny and Mission Impossible 7, right? There's a lot of similarities there.
Mm-hmm.
And
they used the same
Indiana
set because the
first,
country was going to demolish a bridge, and every studio that has a bridge in there would yes, we are jumping on that because we're going to use it, because if we contribute to the expenses of the demolition, we can do whatever we want there and not have to worry about fixing it up afterwards. Because that's another part too. When you're in a studio and you rent, say, a downtown street, and you have to create new facades for the stores to work in your fictional universe, you have to pay for that, and then you have to pay to take them down and make sure that you don't damage what's underneath. And if you do, you have to repair that. So if you find out that, oh yeah, we're going to destroy a couple of these buildings in this downtown area, it's like, we'll come in, we'll put up the facade, and then we'll demolish it, for this cost to get away with these things and for this tax credit. And it's a mutually beneficial deal between the production and the people that own that property that is scheduled for demolition. It's because really an advantageous thing.
Yeah, they want the renovations, right? So that it's like.
It's not so much they want the renovations. It's like they want to build something new on the property. If the studio is going to tear it down for them in exchange for a tax credit because they want to use the building or use the facade of the building, it's beneficial to them. Rarely do they actually have a deal where the studio comes in and remodels a home or remodels something and then leaves it as it was for the town or what have you to take advantage of. But there are some exceptions to that. But in the case of if something's being blown up or destroyed or being renovated and it's going to take some time and the studio has a set piece that involves such action, they will take advantage of it. I mean, the biggest one that we can all think of is probably the hospital that was demolished in The Dark Knight. That was a real demolition. Warner Brothers paid for that demolition so that they could film it, and the city saved a whole bunch of money on that.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
And with that, CC, what you got coming up?
As always, Friday night, late night karaoke with Mr. Tom Connors and myself and any other guests that join us on the panel as the evening goes along. If you want to listen to us sing songs, that's the place and time to do it.
Sing a song.
And hopefully I have enough internet to do that this week. We'll see. I'll give it my best.
Yeah, that's the thing is I know you're dealing with some patchy internet there, but we'll see how it goes. Script, what you got going on?
Well, this morning I dropped a little musing post on my Patreon about the show Heels that's on Stars or Paramount, one of the Paramount apps, if you have that, and how it kind of does a little bit of the soap opera drama a bit better than how Taylor Sheridan does across his Yellowstone and Lioness in 1923 franchises. And yeah, so go get a read on that. I just talked primarily about the pilot, not the rest of the series. I didn't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen it yet. But go check that out. See what you can learn.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Script, and thank you guys for being here on the panel and in the chat. Thanks for listening and all the mods for help, Mr. T, and I think Steven was here tonight, and I know Dr. Coffin Nails was here in an earlier part of the show. All y'all, thank you so much for that and the super chats and all that business. And until next time.
Night, everybody.
Good night. Where's the thing?
Yeah.